Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Episode number 39, I believe. Episode number 39. Hot as heck outside, beating the heat, staying indoors. And what better way to do that with my guy Dwayne Polk in the building. I appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.
Especially on this hot summer day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Get in where it's cool.
Yep.
So for those listening that may not know who you are, let the people know, man, who you are, what you do, where you've been. Take us through the journey.
All right. My name is Dwayne Polk from St. Louis, Missouri. A lot of people label me as a St. Louis legend.
That's in the IG bio.
Yep, on the IG bio. Only because of all the things I've accomplished in my life. A lot dealing with basketball, personal relationships, and most importantly, my family.
And so take us through the journey, like starting out. How did you first get introduced to basketball? How did that interest come about?
Well, that's very interesting. I kind of look at it as when I came out the womb, it was a basketball in my crib with my mother and father. But my journey started long before I would say I was even born, man. My father, he's an icon when it comes to basketball in St. Louis. He played at Sodan High School. He actually went on to play at multiple colleges, multiple JUCOs as far as Jeffco. Went on from Jeffco to Colorado State, and then ended his career at St. Mary's in San Antonio. So when I was younger, got a chance to go down there, spend some time with him on my spring break. So, really good experience through there. But also my mom, man, a lot of people don't know this, and my mom is she's like an icon right now.
Right
now. My mom has been on the police force, I want to say about 27 years. She's close to retirement. She has a lot of different relationships that she's built with a lot of people in the community right now, which they don't even know that's my mom. They'll see her and they'll see me. And she looks younger than I do. But my mom, man, going back to when she was in high school, she attended Beaumont High School, had a really great career, went on to play college basketball at Harris-Stowe State University as well. And it was just Harris-Stowe College back in the day. So, but my mom, man, I think a lot of my game probably came from her, a lot of my athleticism. She grew up with, multiple brothers. On the west side of St. Louis. She went to Langston Middle School, and always like a basketball player. Even in high school, man, like when I went back, I can pull up stories of her making like all Metro team as a sophomore in high school, and this is right before she had me her junior year. So I credit a lot of my experiences to my parents, to my mother and my father for sure.
And did you feel like, because I could kind of see it going one of two ways, and maybe there's a different way, but one way would be parents both grew up playing sports, hooping, and so that's like the blueprint. I look up to them. I want to be like them, and you're kind of like self-motivated. Another route I've seen folks go down is like there's sort of like this pressure, expectation that you're going to do this. Was it one of those two or something different?
I think it was a little bit of both. I'll share a quick story, man, about just my dad. A lot of people know this. The last time that two PHL schools, so two public high league schools, played in the state championship game was in March of 1985. So my dad attended Sodan High Schools, played for the great coach Marvin Neals. And Sodan played against Vashon with Coach Irons, Floyd Irons, which was my high school coach. So we talking, 1985. I'm not born yet. Sodan had beat Vashon earlier in the season during the regular season. Vashon had beat Sodan in the early season. So going into the state championship game, the stakes were high. My dad, he was a sophomore at the time, played with a lot of great legendary players on both the Sodan High School team and Vashon team. But in the end, the V pulled out the victory. Sodan had the lead late in the game. I believe there was a technical foul called on like a missed dunk. Vashon took the lead. That was kind of like the beginning of my life.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet, but my dad, the key part of the story is my dad, like he's a teenager. So he's 15, 16 years old. At the time, he's joking with his friends and like, man, since we lost, I'm going to send my son to Vashon High School. And again, it was March of 1985. I was born in December of 1985. So he kind of spoke that to existence, with my journey. Also going along with that, man, I as you can see, my parents were young. So I grew up like literally going to practices with them. I can remember times where my dad would be at St. Mary's down in San Antonio, and I would spend my spring breaks going to his college. I would go down there. I would see practices. I would go see the facilities. I would see him playing on TV, see games and things like that. Also, when he was at Colorado State, you got to think, their player pictures. So I actually had a poster of my dad actually on my wall when I was in middle school of him in a Colorado State jersey. And I'll share what number he wore later on when we kind of talked about that too, because I think that played a major, impact on the number I wore later in my life as well. And speaking of my mom, and I didn't mention her name, but her name is Regina Moore, Sergeant Regina Moore in St. Louis Police Department. But my mom, she was my primary caregiver, only because my dad was off at college so much. I was always here with her, which that kind of pushed her to go to Hairstow. So going to Hairstow before they had the new gymnasium, when we had to go into the school building, into the back gym, and it's 99 degrees, in there. Her friends are watching me, while she's at practice, hanging out with her friends and things like that. So seeing them actually be great in college. And I didn't know any better at the time, but I was always around basketball when I was growing up, as a kid.
Yeah. Shout out to Jalen Watson. Been working with him this is summer, like 3 or 4. But he was at Stowe for the last 2 years.
Okay.
And so we would get some sessions in, like the main gym was being used. So I think we would go to the same gym you're talking about.
The back gym, yep, the back gym.
Got to walk up some stairs and through, like it's a school.
Yep.
Then just like, oh, by the way, there's this like sort of hidden gym.
Yep. And now Hairstow is kind of like, they've upgraded, man. And shout out to Hairstow. The HBCU that's here in St. Louis.
Yep.
But I spent a lot of time at Hairstow, like as a kid. A lot of people don't know, man, they had 2 gyms. So like the one side was like the gym. And if you look at the hoops, they're on the wall. Like they were literally like close to the wall.
Main gym or the
old school gym, the one that's actually in the school, is actually not the new facility they have. So they had like 2 sides to it, which was crazy back in the day. Huh. Yeah, I'm telling my age, just talking about it. But yeah, man, Hairstow they've had a lot of great players to come through there, and from that time to now, the upgrades are crazy. To see them in dorms, like there's no way we would even think about like the dorms or the new facility even back then, for sure.
Sheesh. They're building something right now.
Yes, they are.
Some like science building.
It's a science building, yeah.
Okay.
Looks nice too. And like I said, shout out to Hairstow, man. Like it's really a staple of the community, which I think we take for granted here in St. Louis. We talk about all the colleges, but man, to be able to actually go to college is a privilege now. But also to go to somewhere like Hairstow that's been around for decades is kind of like a privilege.
Yeah. Put me on game with Soldan High School, hooping wise. Because I graduated from Webster in 2019.
Okay.
So that was the same age as the twins, Jesse and James. And I think Elijah Bishop was a year younger, somewhere around there. But during my time in high school, Soldan was decent. They were pretty good. Outside of that, I don't know too much. They've, from my perspective, haven't made a ton of noise. But then I think someone said that Tatum used to coach there?
Yes.
Okay, so put me on game. Like, what's the history of Soldan basketball? How good were they?
Okay,
what's the story?
When you go back to the 80s, and again, I'm telling my age, man, a lot of this is before I was born, but I'm almost like an encyclopedia when it comes to like basketball in St. Louis because that was my life, man. I grew up in it. But in the early 80s, for all of the great basketball players that were on like the west side of St. Louis, it was two places you were going. Especially if you were playing in the playgrounds like the Viz or at West End. And talk about West End a little bit, it became the Demetrius Johnson Center. RIP to DJ, man. He's a great guy. Demetrius Johnson is one of the mentors I had actually growing up as well. But playing in West End, it was 200 degrees down in the basement at West End. So if you had game, man, it wasn't invite only, but if you played at the Viz and you played at West End, you were it. If you got a chance to get on the court, back in the early 80s, even going into the 90s, in the 2000s, we actually worked out there. When I was actually in high school and, a little bit after high school as well. But a lot of those guys from the West Side, they actually attended either Soldan or Vashon. So in the early 80s, if you look at guys that actually came out of actually Soldan or like just the track record of them winning, they were one of the top teams in the country.
In the country.
They produced a lot of pros. They produced a lot of the high major Division I basketball players. And like I mentioned earlier, it wasn't just Vashon at that time. You would have other schools too, like McKinley, who was actually really good. You would have Central, who was actually really good. So a lot of those teams that were coming up around the early 80s, it wasn't one-sided. It was a lot of different PHL schools that actually had some really, really good basketball players. And like I was speaking in 1985, man, Soldan beat Vashon in the regular season. So that can kind of speak to like the level of talent that actually was in the public high league around that time.
Go ahead.
Yep. Right now, we're gonna move on to like I would say the mid 2000s. Justin Tatum, which is Jason Tatum's father, he actually was the head coach at Soldan High School at the time. He had some great players actually come through, and they actually won the state championship. They won the state championship.
What year?
I am not sure of the year, but it had to be somewhere between 2010 and 2015 was when they actually won. So they actually went down to Columbia, man. I remember they used to have these gold uniforms with the stars down the side. They had a lot of Woes kids. Okay. Shout out to Mike Nettles and Woes.
Yes, sir. I had Jet. Jet came on the podcast a while back.
Yeah. So shout out to Jet too. That's my guy, man. But around that time, Soldan was running it. If you were coming through PHL, man, you went to Soldan. And like I said, they got him one. And right after, Justin did move on to CBC, but his run with him on his coaching staff, he had RJ, which is Ryan Johnson, who's the current coach at Carton-Ritter College Prep as well. They had a great team, man, and I think it was definitely great to see another team outside of Vashon, which we were kind of down during those years, to actually go on and show that you can be successful coming out of the PHL. For sure. And
so do you know any reasons or any guesses as to why we went from that to now in terms of PHL schools? To me, it seems like it's Vashon in a class of its own, and then everyone else isn't really sniffing anything, so to speak.
I'll be honest, it's been like that for a while, though.
Do you have any guesses or reasons why?
I think it has a lot to do with factors that we can't control. Mm-hmm. When it comes to education, when it comes to the dynamic of the St. Louis city, when it comes to the dynamic of some neighborhoods are not around that were around in the early 2000s or early 90s or even in the 80s. And I'll name one neighborhood just to use an example, like the Blue Mire. Like the Blue Mire was a staple of all the children that were in the Blue Mire going to Vashon High School.
Where's that?
So the Blue Mire no longer exists. Okay. So the Blue Mire, which is a project Well, there was a housing project, so a lot of the black families actually lived within the community. It's literally right where Career Academy, Clyde C. Miller, is now. That's actually the exact location where Vashon, so the second building of Vashon, actually is located. But right around Clyde C. Miller, maybe for a mile, I would say a mile south and a mile north, it was a neighborhood called the Blue Mire. You had two towers that were actually project buildings, which probably had thousands each of houses or apartment units for someone to live. But there were also apartments that were actually around the area. So we talking probably like another 1,500 families. So we talking about maybe close to 10,000 people that actually live right there between Compton, Vanderventer, and Grand, just in that one neighborhood alone that no longer exists. So when they close those down, it forces the families out. Just with time, families, they do well for themselves. So, they move on to different areas. So now you no longer have those children who would go to these different schools or neighborhood schools that would actually move out to different areas. They would go to schools like Jennings, they would go to Normandy, they would go to Riverview, and that's the case that we actually have now. So a lot of kids that actually, would not go to St. Louis public schools would go to these neighboring public school districts that are actually not in the city of St. Louis.
Okay. So then because the neighborhoods get demolished, is that what they did? They just tore them down?
Some get bought out.
Okay.
Some are forced out. They definitely are demolished because when you go to some of these neighborhoods, and I'm just speaking of early 2000s, like now, but we can go back to the 80s. There were the Pruitt-Igoe projects, or that area. It was one of the biggest staples in the St. Louis community. It no longer exists. So when you speak about kids, my children, they have no clue what the Blue Mire is. They will have no clue of what
I didn't when you said it.
The Clinton Peabody projects is. They have no clue what the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood is. They have no clue of what a Pruitt-Igoe area is, only because they no longer exist. It's like they're wiped off the face of the map.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you're saying that the kids who lived in that neighborhood, the families, when those places existed, they would have gone to PHL schools.
They would go to their neighborhood schools.
But now they have to move to Jennings, Riverview.
Well, it no longer exists. So these families actually live in different areas. And if you think about the times, fortunately, some of the black families, they're just doing better. If our mothers or fathers weren't doing as good when we were younger, they laid a foundation for us to actually be better. So when we grow up and we're making a little bit better money or way more better money than what they made, we'd be like, okay, I want to live in a better neighborhood. So we would move into different areas because we want best for our children. So that kind of was the idea of it's things that we can't control. Fortunately for me though, I think of St. Louis City, that is my home. When a lot of people see me walking around or repping where I live, I don't live in Florissant. I don't live in St. Charles. I don't live in Maryland Heights. I literally live on the west side of St. Louis, and I'm not going anywhere. My wife laughed at me like a couple of weeks ago. She was like, "Hey, we're gonna need a bigger space, for the kids. You want to think about moving?" I'm like, "Yeah, we'll find a bigger space in the city." Only because my heart and everything that's made me is actually within the city of St. Louis.
I like that a lot. Okay. And so I want to talk about Vashon now.
Okay.
To me, so this kind of goes along with what we were just saying, like, to me, Vashon basketball has kind of like stood the test of time. Like, they've been good for a really long time. Lots of high level players and coaches have come through that program. Why? Like, what do you think has allowed that culture, which is a word that gets overused a lot, but like Vashon to me has a very strong culture.
Yes.
They have expectations. They have and so what do you think has allowed that to stay what it is for all this time?
A lot of that has to do with the top. And what I mean by the top is those that came before us. that paved the way. And it's not necessarily paying homage, but it's more like respect. So I think that a lot of us that actually come through Vashon, it's like we put ourselves, no matter how your career went, to the back burner to those that came before us. It did start with Coach Irons, but it was a lot of other people that were teachers within the building. It was a lot of other administrators that were actually within the building as well that, shared some experiences or built relationships with us as students that had us to feel that made us feel that sense of pride. Wearing the blue and white. We bleed blue. That's just us, But I think it started at the top, and it started well before I even got there. I know it did. But just having a place that you can call home, having a place that you can go back to that, it feels like family, we'll always go back. You always come running back to family when it's not so good on the outside.
Yeah, facts. Take me through a Vashon practice. I've heard stories. I've heard 3 hours, no basketballs, all defense.
Ooh.
What's like a typical?
Do you want the old V or you want the new V? Because them two different things.
Okay.
Man. Them are two different type of worlds that we're talking about. So
okay, let's go. Because are you saying it's gotten softer nowadays? No. The opposite.
No. So we're talking two different eras.
Okay.
Two different mock-up of players. Two different first impression of players. It has changed that much since actually the early 80s.
Okay.
And I'll start with the OV.
Yeah.
So the OV, you had the pit. So has anybody ever talked to you about the pit, what the pit is? Okay, so the pit was the gym, the name of the gym at the old Vashon that actually sat on 3405 Bell on Graham, where Clyde C. Miller / Career Academy is. Quick story. If you walk in Clyde C. Miller's gym right now and you just look at the gym, it's the exact dimensions of the gym at the pit. The baskets, they face the same direction. Like literally, the one basket is on the same side as Church's Chicken. The other basket is on the other side of I can't really remember the name of the church, but it's on the other side of the church. So the gym at Clyde C. Miller, the same dimensions are going the same direction. But just imagine the gym actually, it had a lot of character. So it had it had bleachers. It was huge. There was zero air. I don't even think we had an air conditioning unit that actually ran in the gym. And in the summertime, the heat would be on. So if you walked in the gym, it would be probably, no lie, it'd probably be like 103 degrees.
They would turn the heat on purpose?
The heat would be on purpose. If you can go back and watch old game film of like Vashon games from the 80s all the way until 2000 and... It was 2001 was the last game I played in the last game there. You would literally see people in the stands with fans take their shirt off with wife beaters on because it was so hot in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the character of the pit, man, you had it was dark, wasn't a lot of light. There was paint chipping from the ceiling. You would see different I call them artists, but it's really not artists. You would see different people like sign their names like on the wall, not necessarily graffiti style, but over the course of years, you would see people like kind of have their signatures like on the walls. The court was really nice. It was huge. The baskets were nice. Coach, when I say Coach Irons, he did a great job of keeping the makeup of the gym how it was. But I'm pretty sure, man, pipes were busting like all in the building.
Probably got overheated.
Yes, and it had two levels. So when you walked in there, let's say if the bottom was, if you got there during the JV game, you probably wasn't getting in. But if you had to get in at that time, the bottom was already full. You have to go to the top. At the top, that's where heat rises. It was the hottest. Man, you would see people up there like sweating like profusely, like from the top, like with fans and everything. So the pit had its own characteristic as far as like style.
That's probably why you sweat so much now.
Yes, and I believe that's why we were so in shape.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the practices, man. Those are the hardest practices of my life, and we're talking about times at SLU when we had conditioning. No, it was at the pit. I never really cramped up, only in the pit. And that was like at the end of practice, because we would run something called cross countries. So you would start at the opposite end of one baseline. You would have to run from the baseline full court, go up the stairs, come around, go all the way up to the top. So you would be running in the heat. So you have to run like one lap around the bleachers. So you're going up bleachers. Then you come back down the bleachers, go to the other side, do the same thing, one lap around, come down into a suicide, and you end it where you started. So just imagine doing that 5 times in a row, and it had to be finished in less than a minute and 10 seconds. So think about suicide.
5 suicides.
So 5 suicides, 30 seconds, like 30 seconds, right?
Each.
And you had to run that entire thing in less than a minute and 10 seconds.
And so a minute, 10 seconds times 5.
Yes. Now you would get a rest in between. Okay. But you have to do that 5 times.
That's still tough.
That's very tough.
That's tough. They still do a version of that now, don't they?
Yes, we have so now we're gonna move into the new Vashon.
Okay.
Not as hot because we have air. We have air, but we actually do cross countries as well. If you look at the new V and the makeup of the gym, towards the big wall, I would say the big wall that has Vashon Wolverines with the Wolverine head, there are 2 sets of steps. So now the cross country starts at the boys' locker room. It goes all the way down to the opposite side. You go up the steps, run around the top, like the mezzanine area, come back down into a suicide. Now, the timing is not the same, but it does have the same effect, but it does not because of the heat. The heat played a major factor when playing in the old V or playing in the pit than it does actually the new V as well.
Dude, that's funny because it's like all the old heads talk about, back in my day, uphill both ways, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But like you for real, like... it's for real. No
it's
heat.
For real. I mean, man, going back into my freshman year at the pit, at the OV, you have to think back too. You had guys like Pistol and Shotgun who used to come back to actually practice with us. So Shotgun, I'm gonna give you a background of like Mr. Campbell. So Shotgun, point blank period, he's one of the best guards to ever come out of Vashon. But he went to Kansas out of high school. How many high school kids now are going to Kansas?
Not a lot.
Thank you. So that's the standard. So when he comes back, like he's coming to practices, the expectation of working hard and my thing, like I said, a lot of the Vashon stuff, it comes, you push all your accolades and stuff to the side for them. So I'm in practice, I'm trying to please him because he went to Kansas. Like how can I impress him? How can I show him that I'm worthy of actually being a player and doing the things that are required to be a Vashon basketball player? So he would be on us in practice, like running in the pit. Like, and this is the cross countries was the last thing. There's a lot of stuff in between, to uphold the standard. But we had guys like that from the very beginning, from the 80s, who were there to show us the way. And when you moved into the new V, it's the same. I mean, myself, I'm off, into another, world right now. But if I had the opportunity, I hold the Vashon players to the same standard. That is the standard. Like when I go back, even though I'm a coach at Lutheran North High School, I'm like, no, this is not how that's done. Like me and Jimmy McKinney Jr., we have a great relationship. So I'm like, no, this is what you need to do. And he's a great player. He's going to St. Louis University like I did. And I'm like, no, that's not it, little Jimmy. Like you have to do X, Y, and Z. And he would give feedback like, well, what you want me to do? I'm like, well, there are different things that Pistol and Shotgun would want me to tell you to do. Mm-hmm. Like if you're not doing this, you're not meeting their standards. These are standards that were laid way before me. So a lot of that does actually come from back then for sure.
Okay. Yeah. That's a huge part in people's success. And like we were talking about how like the tradition, the culture has stayed what it is for so long, is having those like examples.
Yes.
There There's a couple other examples I like. One of them was the 4-minute mile.
Yes.
For like ever, nobody could do it. And then one person did it. And then within like 3 months, 8 or 9 people did it.
Yep.
Because they saw that it was possible.
Yep.
So having someone go to Kansas out of high school, okay, that's possible.
Yes.
He grew up in the same environment that I did.
Yes.
I don't really have any excuse. He did it. And I think that's really cool to hear you talk about how they like, folks will put their accolades and stuff aside, and you said like try to please them.
Yeah, that's great. Because they paved the way.
Yeah.
They come from the same neighborhoods that we come from. When I spoke about playing at the Viz and playing at West End, those guys played there. Like they grew up playing and this is before my father, because they're older than him. They played in those same neighborhoods. They went to those same schools that we did in high school. And now we're fortunate enough to actually get the opportunity to go to St. Louis University, like Pistol went to SLU. Like Anthony Bonner, went to SLU. Like Anthony Jones went to SLU. So those guys who came through those same neighborhoods are doing what we dreamed to do. And it is, I feel like it's our job when it's our time to help those that come after us to carry that on. So I feel the same way about, Jim McKinney Jr. Like he has a standard that he has to uphold once he gets to SLU as well. Only because, and it's not because of me, it's because of those guys that actually came before him that did everything that he's going to do. And they did it already with going to the highest level. Anthony Bonner went to the NBA. So if Jim McKinney Jr. has an opportunity to go to the NBA, we don't want him to go to the NBA. We want him to go to the NBA and then be on the USA team, win a gold medal. Now you have to take it and actually move it to a different level. That's what I call like success, really. It's when those that you impacted are more successful than you were doing the same exact things, following the same blueprint that you followed when you were as a kid.
I like that. Yeah, taking everything and kind of leveling it up
and
in a sense.
To another level.
So take me through. So you mentioned the cross country conditioning stuff.
Yes.
What about during practice made it difficult? At Webster, we didn't do a whole lot of like get on the line, run. Mm-hmm. It was just fucking war every time because it was like.
Now, did you play with Close Blossom?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. I understand.
Yeah, so it was going drill to drill. If it takes us 60 seconds to transition from one drill to the next, he's on us. Like everything is competition live.
Yes, everything is live. And I've a lot of close friends that actually played in that Webster program too. So I knew how you guys kind of did things. They would talk about it all the time, and we would compare, a little bit, but one thing about Vashon, and I'll be honest, man, when you talk about Vashon basketball, man, it really is the same thing, but they're two different worlds. So I have a Floyd Irons era. That's who I played under. I played for, Floyd Irons, the legend, the iconic figure. When he walks into the room, everybody in the room looks directly at him. And then you have Tony Irons, which is his son. He paved his own way. He did it his way. And when he walked into the room, guess what? All eyes are on him. So when I think about Vashon basketball and think about like success, Coach Irons, he laid the foundation. And it was incredible. You got teams that are, in the top 3, top 2 in the country. And then you get Tony Irons, and then you're getting kids that are going to Kentucky, to Blue Bloods. You're getting kids that are actually going on to the NBA. So it's two different worlds when I think of actually Vashon. That actually is the same thing. But when you think about a Coach Irons practice, everything
Floyd or Tony?
Oh, Floyd Irons.
Okay.
So when I say Coach Irons,
got you.
That's Floyd Irons.
Okay.
So when you think of I have a habit, man. Everybody they say coach. Yeah. So when you think of coach's practice, man, it's very detailed. I'm talking feet pointed forward, feet shoulder width apart. The very small details is what's the most important to him. how you pass the ball. Are your thumbs pointed down when you throw a chest pass? Are you making a one-hand pass? Are you catching the ball with two hands? If it's a loose ball, are you picking it up with two hands or are you trying to dribble it? When you do a right-hand layup, are you jumping off your left foot? When you're doing a left-hand layup, are you jumping off your right foot? So he was very, very detailed when it came to his practices. He had rules. So I live by these same rules today. So when I talk about my players and, my program or how I, maneuver, even my life though, don't miss. Don't be late. Shirt tails in. So don't miss mean don't miss practice. In 4 years of high school, I missed 0 practices. In 4 years of high school, my teammates, and we're talking about 4 different teams. So after my freshman year had a group of guys. Sophomore year had a few from the year, but it was a different group of guys. Junior year, all new guys. Senior year, all new guys. In 4 years, probably 1 or 2 missed practice. Probably. And the probably is because they weren't let in because they were late. So the rule number 1, don't miss. Rule number 2, don't be late. Don't be late. If practice starts at 5 a.m., it starts at 5 a.m. You're not running in, putting on whistle, sit in the center, we're starting at 5. Those few times, I've seen people get locked out of practice. And he locked the door at 4:59. Yep. So don't miss, don't be late. Shirt tails in. So in the game, your shirt has to be tucked in. We practice how we played. So in practice, your shirt is tucked in. And he had one more rule too, which I always leave this one out, but it's the most important one. No excuses.
Love it.
No excuses. So as I grew up and became an adult, I found to realize that Coach Irons lived by that. He lives and dies by those rules. Because even as a man or like as a administrator, because he was the assistant principal and principal at our school, he didn't miss. He was never late. He was always there before all of us, unless I just beat him there because I was trying to prove a point. His shirt was always tucked in. If you see him on pictures, it's very rare that you'll see him with his shirt not tucked in. And he never makes an excuse for anything. You can name it. There's never an excuse. He's always trying to figure it out to improve or to get better. So when I grew up, I realized that he kind of lived by those, those rules too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially if he's living by them.
Yes.
As a player, like you almost have to,
You have to. I mean, the amount of success that he has is kind of like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to.
And so I think it's interesting. You said that Tony Irons did it his own way.
Yes.
But he also kept the culture, the tradition of Vashon from what I have seen.
Yes. So when you mentioned Tony Irons, and I always say this too, because just the world, a lot of people want to put him into the category of his father. He's not his father. He did it his own way. And I always try to explain that to everybody, like, well, how? And I'm like, we didn't run the same plays. We didn't have some of the same philosophies when he coached at Vashon through his success. Now, some of the principles were the same. The funniest part about that, though, I always laugh and joke with him, too. I'm like, man, your dad would have did it this way. Me and Jimmy, we like, man, no, your dad would have did it this way. He like, no, we don't have to do it this way. We can do it another way and we can still be successful. So I give Tony a lot of credit, man, because he dealt with a lot of, I'm not my dad. He's his own person. He's accomplished so much. He's exceeded what his dad has done. I mean, who wins a state championship 10 years in a row?
Crazy.
That's a wild run.
Crazy.
Never been done, never going to be done ever again.
No.
That's crazy. But when you compare, Tony's the same way when it comes to details, from how your hand is pointed defensively. And I would say Tony is more defensive oriented too. How your stands are you talking? How hard are you playing? So the times had changed from when we were in high school to kind of now, because when we talk about players now and today, it's a skill to play hard.
For sure.
That's a skill. Some people, everyone labeled that as, oh, he plays hard. That should be automatic. When you think about in the 80s or 90s, it's automatic that you play hard. You never talked about playing hard. But now it's a skill. But Tony, he gets the best out of all his players, man. Like the way that he builds relationships with his players, with their parents, how he relates to them is like everything. Because I've come to find out all of his players love him. All of his players will run through a wall for him. And when we think about Coach Irons, Floyd Irons, it's the same thing. All of his players will run through a wall for him, but it was done two different ways. It was done in two different fashions that I actually was privileged to witness both.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that relationship part is so important, especially Vashon. My era. I mean, it's City of Palms, it's Bass Pro, it's guys getting high major looks, high major commitments, and all this talent coming in and out the door. That relationship especially is super important because then like it's easy for egos to get involved and I'm this, I'm that.
Yes.
But then to kind of like build that relationship and let them know like, nah, this is what we need from you, but creating that buy-in as well.
I agree. And and you were still in high school. My last year at Vashon was 19. So that was right before COVID. So we arrived at Vashon in 2015. So that's when Tony actually first got to Vashon from Madison Prep because Madison Prep closed down. So that's when he first got there. So I arrived with him then at Vashon. So the first year he's back at Vashon, that's where it kind of started. Just the run and just building that culture back up, because there was a time I would say from 2007 until 2014 that it was down. But in 2015 we all kind of went back home, and that was not by choice; it was by chance. And I only say that because Tony started at Imagine Prep. He didn't start as coaching at Vashon. And he had great players, Montavian Payne, Kevin Baker, who's the head coach at Live for Life now.
Jet played on that team.
On that team. Yeah. So they won him the state championship.
Okay.
Yep. So and I always, Tony had a very unique story, man. When he started at Imagine, that was his first, I would say that's his second experience of coaching. His first was in the College of Ozarks, where he actually went to college. He did a little bit of coaching there. Then he actually moved on to Imagine. So that was like his first stint. Young coach. Imagine doesn't have a program. They don't have players. He got to build it from ground up. So he goes there and becomes successful, and the school closes. So the school closes. So he's left without a job. He's left with no players, no anything. So summer's rolling around. They're like, hey, we're going to open this charter school called Madison Prep. He has to interview to be the head basketball coach, even after having a very successful team at Imagine with those same guys. Interviews for the job. A lot of other candidates, a lot of everything. He ended up getting the job at Madison Prep. Gets the job at Madison Prep. They win the state championship. Win a state championship. Have a few years of, really, really good success. The school closes while they're down in the Final Four.
During the school year? During
the school year. He's at the state in the semifinal game. They walk in the locker room and tell him in March, oh yeah, our school closing at the end of May.
Oh, okay. So they finished the...
Yeah, they finished. Okay. Yeah, they finished.
I was going to say, I thought they just pulled the plug like right then and there.
They finished the school year, but they tell them the school's closing. That's the wildest thing. Like, we're going into a state championship game or semifinal, whatever it is. It's important for the school. And you walk in this room, and out of all these players, you tell us the school is closing. What do you think that did for the morale of everybody in there?
Okay. Okay.
It dropped. But in the end of that year, the school closed. The principal that was at Madison Prep was named the principal at Vashon. And he said, I'm taking all my people with me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
how we kind of ended up at Vashon. It was, like I said, it wasn't by choice. It was just that this happened. But I think everyone has the cliche of saying that, things happen for a reason. And you can't stop what's meant to happen. So that was kind of one of those cases actually there as well.
100%.
Yeah.
So if Tony was there 2015, so was he 10 for 10?
He was not 10 for 10. So we won 2015, 2016 season, 2016, 2017. So we won back-to-back. And then we lost the following year. We lost in the 2018 season to St. Mary's. Yuri was a junior.
Yes.
St. Mary's was loaded. Tony Burke.
Huza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huza was on that team. We lost
Dominic Mitchell.
Yep, Dominic
That's
Mitchell.
Right.
We lost to them at Parkway West.
That's right.
And at one point, they had us down by 20. Dub. Everybody's getting up, leaving out. And you got to think, we won it back-to-back. But a lot of people, if you go back and you look at it, like I said, Yuri was young, man. He was a junior. And like credit to them and BT. That's my guy. Brian Turner, who's the head coach of St. Mary's now. We lost to them. And BT's always been like close to us too because he went to Beaumont. So that Vashon-Beaumont rivalry has always been there.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't look at our roster that year. So when they look at players like Philip Russell, when they look at, Kobe Clark, when they look at Cameron Fletcher, when they look at Mario, Hootie Rio, they were all underclassmen. We didn't have a senior on that team.
Who were the juniors?
Mario was a junior.
Oh. So
Kobe.
That's not an underclassman.
Kobe.
Underclassman's
one.
Freshman, sophomore.
One.
So
Phil, Cam, Kobe, and everybody else were sophomores.
Damn.
So the following year, what do you think happened? that crazy run went. The crazy run. And I always laugh and joke, man, about like the time. If we can look in between even, let's go back from now to 2015. Yuri Collins stopped Vashon. You know what else stopped Vashon?
Vashon?
COVID.
So
you had to have a natural disaster to come in to stop that that force wearing that blue and white, which is crazy. I mean, it's funny, but it's the truth though. It definitely is the truth.
So then how'd he win 10 though?
So when you factor in, 9.
Okay.
9 within the years. I'm counting the years because Jimmy won one.
Oh, okay. Vashon had won. Okay.
Yeah, Vashon has won, but Jimmy won later. So Jimmy's first year as head coach, he won. They lost last year, this past season.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. All right, bet. Okay, fuck it. I just remembered that you were on the bench when we played you guys Courtney's senior year at Merrimack.
Yes. Yes, that game.
Boy got baptized.
Oh man, right at the half,
buzzer beater. Yeah.
Baptized. And shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Courtney Ramey, man. Like
for real,
he's one of my all-time favorite players to come out of high school in St. Louis. When I talk about guards that rebound the basketball at an elite level, I talk about Courtney Ramey. He's one of those guys, man. He won't get a lot of praise. He'll fall in between, the cracks when people talk about all the greats that come out of St. Louis. Why is he not up there? Why is he not up there with some of the greats? Like, his career was amazing. Like, he who goes to play at Texas, then at Arizona? That doesn't happen, by chance. Like, that's something that, like, that should tell you, like, the level that he plays at. Who's a successful pro right now is Courtney Ramey. So, shout out to him, man. I've been following him forever. Me and his dad, Terrell.
Legend.
Yeah, so me and Terrell, we go way back. Like I said, I'm like an encyclopedia when it comes to basketball.
I was gonna say, you were like, that came back to my mind because you were breaking down like the square footage of Miller's career and the gym, and it's the same place. I'm like, damn, this dude really like. Yeah,
so I go back with Terrell before Team Ramey. His team was called the Falcons. So great players like Jared Newsom. Jared Newsom had a great professional career. He's one of the best guys to actually come out of this area. He's from Belleville. I believe he is on coaching staff at Notre Dame. I'm not sure if it's the boys or girls side, but that should tell you his journey and the impact that he's had on basketball throughout the entire United States. But Jared Newsom played with Terrell on the Falcons. So this goes back before it was Team Ramey. Terrell traveled with us a lot when we were like during the AAU season, during the AAU time when I was actually in high school too. So me and him are like this. Like, my son goes to his summer camp every summer. Yeah. Yeah. He's one of those guys that I can count on. He doesn't have he has a very unique coaching style, and I respect it because I know what he can do because of what he did for his son. Like, he literally laid a foundation and a blueprint for his son to be successful when he's out of his arm's reach. So shout out to Terrell, man, for sure. Yeah,
that's a legend. He deserves all the flowers.
Yeah, and he gets so many kids in school, man, through that program. It's crazy. Like, I know, like I said, I'll say I don't know how he do it. I know how he does it because it's hard work and it's him. Like, that's just him. He's gonna put in every effort to make sure that he has a positive impact on everybody that he kind of falls up under his wing. So he's gonna go to war for them if they go to war for him.
Yeah, yeah, right. He's the epitome of just like, I don't even know, like, because he's on the AAU scene, he's in the mix, but it's not really like other AAU teams in St. Louis and the country. They'll like hire a camera guy to like be in charge of the content for them, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Ramey has always been like the work.
Yep, you know, get it from the mud.
Yes,
get it out the mud, man. That's him. Like, his work ethic is crazy.
Yeah,
so for sure.
So 4 years of Vashon playing. At what point in that process did you start becoming recruited? And at what point did you know that SLU was the choice?
All right. Out of my 4 years, I started getting recruited early, my freshman year.
Okay.
So I went into a situation where going from 8th grade to Vashon, Vashon had won the state championship when I was in 8th grade, and they were only losing 2 players off that team. So I was going into a situation where 98% of the team is returning. I'm going to go in as a freshman. I'm probably going to be playing JV. They call it B team in public schools. Probably going to be playing B team, but seeing all that stuff growing up, I wanted to wear that Vashon uniform. But I was blessed to play with some great players that got me opportunities. So when I talked about guys who were on that team that I was coming into that had already laid a foundation, you had Jim McKinney, who was one of the top 30 players in the country. Jordan Brand Classic, he was Gatorade Player of the Year as a junior. So you had Jimmy on the team. You had Nick Kern, senior. Nick Kern Jr.'s father, he was on that team, and he was being recruited by SLU already. Jimmy was being recruited by everybody in the country. I remember walking into the school building and we would like go, this time they would give us letters. Like there was no social media. There was no phone call. We didn't have cell phones at that time. All of us didn't, but you would walk in and coaches would send letters. And the craziest thing I saw was a letter from North Carolina and it was Jimmy's name on there. So as a kid, that was one of the craziest things that I saw because I never had seen a letter from like North Carolina or Duke or something crazy like that. But playing with Nick, and then you had Lorenzo Gordon, who was a college phenomenon, but also went and had a crazy professional career overseas. You had Jesse Atkins, who that is probably like the most influential, I would say, that I had on my game. And the impact that I had as a freshman, because he was the starting point guard and he was a senior. But you had Arnold Britt, who actually was going to play football at Mizzou, who was, a player who was highly recruited in both sports. So college coaches were coming to see those guys. They weren't coming to see me. So I was blessed to go into a situation where coaches were actually coming to see those players, and they just discovered me in the process.
Okay.
That's why it happened for me so young.
Okay. So you were playing a decent amount your freshman year?
I started my freshman year.
Oh, well, there
Yes.
you go. There you go.
Yes, I started my freshman year. So
let me put some respect on your name. Okay.
yeah, like I said, I went into a situation where it was like, but I actually started as a freshman at Vashon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So then been recruited all throughout high school. And then what point did you know SLU was the choice?
All right, so going into I won state my freshman year, won state my sophomore year, and my sophomore year we played against Lebron too. So that was the only loss we had that year.
Really?
Yeah.
So y'all like Vashon has been playing
national
schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We played. So we've always been a Nike school. From then, like I said, this is stuff that came before me.
Yeah.
We kind of took it to the next level with playing LeBron. Playing in like the Nike extravaganza, traveling, and things like that. Like when you see us walk in or teams walk in, they got on all blue or all all Nike. We were that. At my point in my sophomore year.
Okay.
So going into my junior year, a lot of those guys, all of them graduated. So it was like it was going to be my turn. That's why I got my first offer. My first offer came from Georgetown, which is my dream school. So got an offer. I believe we were in Kansas. I think it was Kansas City Keys when I actually got offered from Georgetown. It was my first one. And that's when I started to realize that I was actually really good at basketball.
Okay.
And, standing at 5'6", probably 120, 130 pounds. Lightning, though. Lightning fast. And I probably had like a 45-inch vertical.
I would hope so. 130,
yeah,
120?
45-inch vertical, though. I would dunk on you, everything. But around that time, I got my first offer, and they just started coming back to back. We would go to team camps, and I would talk to coaches, when we were in the summer. And I was like, okay, this is really a thing. I was invited to the Elite 100 as a freshman. Going into my sophomore year, we had Nike All-American Camp. So that was like all of the older sophomores and up, or juniors and up. So I was a Nike All-American, which placed me in probably like the top 30 in the country at that time. And I saw players like, and this is 2002, but a lot of guys were still in high school, like Luau Ding. You had Melo still in high school. You had Chris Paul still in high school. Jordan Farmar, Ramon Sessions.
Wow. Yeah.
Like we had it was crazy. Like to be on the court with those guys and we were still in high school, to see Chris Paul before he's Chris Paul was like crazy. Yeah. But I'm in the same group as them. So they put all those point guards together. Daniel Gibson actually led the country in scoring. Booby Gibson that played with the Cavaliers, went to Texas. He actually led the country in scoring at that time. Monta Ellis was going to be like a freshman or actually coming into high school or something like that. I remember him. We were in the same group, which was like crazy. But again, he's a small 5'6" skinny kid. We don't know what our potential is. But when I actually got to camp and I would see NBA guys and I would see all these college scouts actually sitting on the sideline, I would see Bill Selt, I would see Roy Williams. I would actually see them there along with like SLU coaches, Mizzou coaches, Missouri State coaches, SEMO coaches. So I would see all the coaches that I would see on TV. Lute Olson would actually be there because I was like, man, if I go anywhere, I'm going to go to Arizona because they producing every point guard is coming, or every guard that's going to Arizona is going to the NBA. So I was actually on the map kind of like at that point, and I knew then. But going into my senior year, so like a week before we started practice, I broke my kneecap.
Ooh.
Going into my junior year, I'm sorry. Going into my junior year. So breaking my kneecap kind of put a hold on all my plans because I was out for the year. So I couldn't play, fell out of the rankings. Letters weren't coming in like they were, because breaking your kneecap at that time was like tearing your ACL. So we didn't have all the technology, a lot of that we have today, to actually do a repair. So to make you actually come back, faster. So I had a full procedure. I was in a wheelchair for like 3 months, on crutches for like another 2 months. So I had a long, slow process actually my junior year, and that was like one of the worst seasons in Vashon history because we had everybody. It was all new guys. So I was done. So one thing about SLU is during that time, Lorenzo Romar was there, which he was the coach at Washington, who coached Nate Robertson, and then he moved on to Pepperdine. Coached Brandon Roy, Will Conroy. A lot of those Washington teams was actually his team. So he called a meeting with my parents, and we actually went to campus. And we sat down, we talked to him. He was like, hey, I know you're hurting, but we still recruiting you. I was like, really? Like,
because at that point, like, did you go from 100 to 0?
Oh, 0.
Okay.
0. Like I was, it was probably like one of the worst points of my life. I couldn't play basketball, couldn't do anything of my own. I was in a wheelchair. Didn't want to go. I wasn't into like going out or like doing it. I wasn't a gamer. I didn't have video games,
Pulling up to the function in a wheelchair.
Oh, in a wheelchair. Like, didn't want to go to school. I'm going to school in a wheelchair. My girlfriend pushing me around everywhere. Like, it was bad. I didn't want to get a haircut. Like nothing. I couldn't. And because I had the bandages on, I couldn't like take showers every day and stuff like that. Like they were like, nah, you got to kind of like just wash up. So that was like the worst time. Like one of the worst times of my life was when I got hurt my junior year. Then basketball season starts and you can't go out there. Your team losing. Right. We're playing on this national circuit and we're getting our head beat in. Like it's like no, this is not what I signed up for. But hey, it made me a better person because after that, went into my senior year, went undefeated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only undefeated team in Vashon history.
With a national schedule.
With a national schedule.
Salute.
Thank you.
That's fire. That's fire. So then, even though you're balling out your senior year, team is doing exceptional, the offers, was there more coming in or not?
During my junior year, met with my family, met with SLU's coaches again. We felt that since they kind of stuck by my side, that they were going to be like the best fit for me. So I decided to go to SLU.
There you go.
It wasn't. I didn't take any visits. At that time, we got 5 visits. Back in that time, I didn't take any visits to any schools. Wasn't really talking to any coaches. I have a funny story. Coach Drew, he was at Baylor. Bryce Drew, I believe his name is. I committed to SLU. He came down here on a Sunday. He came to St. Louis on a Sunday, and at the New Vashon, there's a flagpole. a stoop with a flagpole in front of the school where you can kind of like sit, hang out. He waited there 3 hours for me to try to get me to decommit from SLU to go to Valparaiso. That's where he was.
Wow.
Yep. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. I was like, I can't do it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm talking. He waited. Like I pulled up to the school. He was there, just sitting there, and he was like, "Hey, this is our school, Valparaiso." And we had Mike and Dan Oppland who went to Whitfield. They were really good. They were twin brothers, pros, like 6'8", could do everything. They actually were at Valparaiso at that time, and he was like, "Man, we're doing good with the twins. We think you'll be a great addition to be with them." But I was like, "Nah, I'm going to SLU." Going to SLU. So another part of that story too, my best friend, my brother Will Franklin. So he's the head football coach at U City now. He actually went to Vashon, played basketball with us, played football at Mizzou, got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. But me and Will Franklin, we kind of met after I met with SLU, and we were sitting in class together, and we were talking about school. 5th hour. I never forget. We were like middle of the day, 5th hour. We were talking about school. Like, man, where you thinking about going? I'm like, I'm probably gonna go to SLU. And he's like, man, Mizzou loved me. And again, this is before this is early. This is our junior year, not even our senior year. And he didn't play his junior year because he was ruled ineligible because he transferred. So we didn't know what the future would hold for us as far as recruiting, but we knew that we had an opportunity by people who actually stood by us. And I remember that day we got up out of class, went to Coach Iron's office and told him we were committing to our schools. And me and him committed together on the news. I committed to SLU and he committed to Mizzou in the same day.
And the news pulled up.
All the news cameras.
Dang.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. So I gotta, damn, okay. I didn't know you had it like that.
The
news pulling up.
Oh yeah,
for a commitment.
Yeah. But you got to think at the time. Again, I'm still one of the top players in the country.
Yeah, you said top 30.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
He's the best player in the state of Missouri, and didn't even play a football game his junior year. But again, we talking about the helicopter, Will Franklin. So he Mizzou, and gets drafted to the NFL. So it was definitely a big deal. Definitely a big deal for us to actually commit at that time, for sure.
Yeah. So that I didn't know that. So when you're going against Chris Paul, LeBron, Monta Ellis, did you have a quote unquote welcome to the league moment of okay, there's levels to this? Or did you feel like you could kind of hang with them?
I always felt like I could hang with them though. It wasn't like I was getting dominated or anything like that. I always had very good showings, and I knew I did well because of the after effect. The time when I came back home, and I would get these big baskets of letters from everywhere. It was more like the after effect of everything, but also by my play. So probably going into my junior year before I got hurt, in A, I probably averaged 40.
Who'd you play AAU with?
I played with St. Louis Game Face. So you still had the Brad Bill Elite was called the St. Louis Eagles at the time. Yep. So you still had the Eagles. I didn't play with the Eagles. So we had our own organization that we actually played with. So Jimmy, we all played with Game Face. Okay. So it was a big rival thing, but we never played against each other because we were on two different spectrums. So they were more of not necessarily Nike, but they had the tournaments they went to. We had the tournaments that we went to, but we went to Nike tournaments. We went to Adidas tournaments. So I would see a little bit of everybody, just kind of along the way. Like I said, I averaged 40, and you can talk to some of my friends who actually played with me. I've hit 40 a million times, on the circuit.
I was going to say to average 40.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, going into my junior, I was it was almost like I had to get hurt. It was like I had to get hurt. I was really that good. And just to prove it though, to come back my senior year and to go undefeated was kind of okay, yeah, you had to be, really that good. And even my senior year, I don't talk about myself like that, accolades and stuff. I'm just not that type of person. But when you talk,
you have, I'm a legend in your bio. Everything. What do you mean?
I have everything.
You said you're not that type of person. You have, I am a legend in all caps in your Instagram bio.
I have it on my arm.
So what do you mean you're not that type of person?
All right, so when you talk about senior year, you talk about accolades.
Okay.
I won every award. So when you talk about player of the year, when you talk about all, like we had newspapers and all that stuff, I was the player in all of them. When the Cardinals won the World Series, I was the top sports story that same year. Because it was a comeback because I was hurt.
You graduated high school in 2011?
4.
What do you mean? When the Cardinals made it to the World Series.
Yeah, they made it to the World Series.
Gotcha.
I was the top sports story.
Wow.
In the city of St. Louis. So when I don't talk about like, oh yeah, I won player of the year. I won player of the year in everything. Like when you have the all Metro team, player of the year, all Metro player of the year, like everything. Anything you could think of, anything you name, it was.
Gatorade player of the year?
I did not win Gatorade player of the year. That's crazy. How do I not win Gatorade player of the year?
If you got everything else. Undefeated, national schedule.
Right. That's a question.
Who won it?
Drew Richards. He played at Logan Rogersville. So Drew Richards, he went to Missouri State, I believe. But he won Gatorade Player of the Year. What I heard as we got older, me and my college teammates split votes. So my college teammate was Luke Meyer. Luke Meyer went to Borgia. He also went to SLU, had a great career at Borgia, had a great career at SLU. Great player. He's probably like one of the only players I've seen like when Vashon played Borgia or like when we played in the summer, Luke would have 40. Smooth assassin, left-handed. Man, Luke was really good. He was athletic. He was strong. But half of, I guess, our region voted for Luke and half of our region voted for me. And the entire South voted for Drew. That's how he won.
Got you.
What's even crazier about the story, after we found out, we all went to college. So you know how you go to college in June. So at the end of the summer, we had the Missouri Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game. So they brought us all, like all the players from everywhere, all of Missouri, to Springfield. They divided us up into class. So class 1, boys and girls had an all-star game. So they would split us up into who were on teams. So in our game, I was pissed that I did not win Mr. Basketball. Like I was super mad. The person who took me to Springfield was Tony Irons. So me and him were riding to Springfield. He was at College of the Ozarks because he was in college at that time. So he is putting the battery pack in my back. Like he like, Drew Richards won. Like what you gonna do in the All-Star game? They say he better than you. Like he putting the battery pack in my back because he's at the game with us because his school is actually down there. I had a triple double. I had 40, 10, 11, and we won. And he was on the other team. No, this is, again, these are facts. It's not stuff that I'm making up.
I'm just presenting the information.
You can go back and fact check everything that I say. But yeah, I was hot. I did not win Gatorade Player of the Year. But at that time, it wasn't really Gatorade. It was Mr. Basketball. Okay. So they kind of converted those into the same thing. But yeah, I was pissed that I did not win Mr. Basketball. How? Like I was like, how did I not win? I did everything that you would want me to do. Yeah. And in the state championship game, I didn't talk about this either, but I had 38 points in the state championship game. At that time, I broke the record.
Who'd you guys play?
We played Kearney. So they're out of Kansas City. They have a very, very good football program. And we're talking, that was 2004. We're in 2026. They are still good to this day in football. At Lutheran North, we actually played, when we won the state championship 2 years ago, we played Kearney in the semifinal to go to the state championship in football. And in 2004, I believe they won in football, and they were it was like a big deal because they're like, we could win in football and win in basketball. And they had some football players that played basketball. Tommy Saunders, he's a Mizzou great. He's a great trainer. He could hoop, man. Tommy was on that basketball team. And then, David Nurse. So he was the coach of the Toronto Raptors when they won.
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse was the coach. David Nurse is his little brother. He was on that team at Kearney.
Wow.
And he could play.
Football team, basketball team?
This is the basketball team. So they had a group of football guys that could actually hoop. So their team was really good. They just ran into us. And we were losing at halftime.
These are just facts.
And we were losing at halftime. So, yeah, they were loaded, though. They were good. They were really good.
Okay, so now you're him and just running through everybody, dominating every award, and now you get to SLU. Was that any type of welcome to the league moment? Okay, there's levels to this, or was it kind of same old, same old?
Yes. I don't think it was one person, though. Like, I never just got destroyed by somebody. Those were more like friends. Like, my friends probably, like Jimmy probably got the best of me, or Joe Sheldon probably got the best of me in the open gym or something like that. But somebody else, nah, it was, I wasn't going. I didn't, and I wouldn't even say I had bad, like, you know how some people like, man, I had a bad day. You can't have a bad day defensively. Like, or how you play. There's no such thing. Or how I would play. There's no bad at all. He's busting my ass. No, there's no such thing, because you're just not gonna touch the ball. I'm just gonna make sure you don't touch the ball. That's it. But my welcome to college moment. Road game. First road game at Gonzaga.
Ooh.
Yep, up in Spokane. So this is what freaked me out. So we fly up to Gonzaga, and we get off the bus. So I'm St. Louis through and through. I had traveled. All over the United States and stuff like that. But we get off the bus, and like, you know, in St. Louis, like, you walk around, you see pigeons.
Yeah.
Like birds, like pigeons. We get off the bus, and it's seagulls. Like 50 of them. Like, I'm like, whoa, like, what is, like, you know, what's this? So, because I had never, you know, seen one before. Okay. So I'm like, oh, what, they got fish in their mouth, everything. So we get off the bus. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of different. Let me hurry up and get in the building. As we're approaching the building, it's probably like 3 hours before game time. It's a long line. I'm like, damn, what the? Like, damn, okay, they must be waiting to get in the game. I'm talking about long line. So get in, walked in the locker room, put on my stuff to get ready to go out shoot. Some of my teammates were already out there. Like, so I'm walking through the tunnel, and I don't know what Gonzaga is at this time. Like, this is like the time when they started to get on the map.
Okay. So
this is Adam Morrison. This is I believe Dirk Ravio, Ronnie Turioff, Batista.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, they were number one team in the country.
Turioff.
Number one team in the country. Number one team in the country. So, but again, I'm not knowledgeable about college basketball yet. I'm only a freshman. I'm just kind of going through it. And it's Gonzaga. I'm like, who hears about Gonzaga in the early 2000s? Nobody. Not then. Right after that, yes. So we get up there, and I come through the tunnel. I'm walking out, and I see my teammates, and I see them shooting. It's like they all shooting from the same side. They're shooting. I'm like, and it was kind of weird, like, looking at it. But then I get out there, and it's a sea of red. The entire student section is full 2 hours before the game. They got signs up. The funniest thing I heard, right? So I walk out, get ready to shoot. They was like, oh my God, it's a midget. That was the funny. I was like, man, what? I'm like, what is this? Because I had never been on a road where it had been like that before, where like the fans are heckling you. Okay. Like they got your face on like big, like your face on these big signs, like they talking crazy to you. And I was like, oh man, I'm like, I looked at my assistant coach, and he was like, this is real college basketball. Cause we had some home games, you know, that was cool. I played well, you know, doing my thing, but I was like, all right, yeah, this different. Off the tip, dunk, boom. Gonzaga. It go crazy. Yeah, Gonzaga. Okay. Boom, dunk. We inbound the ball, turn it over, they score, boom, and it's going crazy. We call a timeout. And I looked around, lights flashing, everything. I was like, this is it. And I got kind of, hyped because I was, had played in big games, but that was like, okay, yeah, now you're here.
Yeah.
Now you're here. You're on the court with real NBA guys. This is college basketball. Like, welcome.
Right.
Welcome.
And that's a good point, too, because I would imagine you played in a lot of packed gyms at Vashon.
Yes.
But it was probably majority home games.
It was I think every game we probably had was sold out and throughout high school.
Even on the road?
Yeah, even on the road. When we went up to Akron, we didn't play at St. Vincent St. Mary. We played at the University of Akron.
They some like documentary or something was saying that they had to play in bigger stadiums. Had to play
and it's sold out. Like whole row NBA guys, Ron Harper, like all NBA guys. Like at that time, the head of Nike, like for like high school, was George Raveling. He's there. Like you're sitting there like. So I'm used to playing in front of thousands, but it was like thousands just there to watch the game. They were there just to be fans of probably LeBron or to see the game. It wasn't fans at Gonzaga there to watch. They were there to watch the game. They were there to cheer for Gonzaga.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Where they all have on their red T-shirts. It was their first home game, and it was on ESPN. It was their first home game. It was crazy. But again, the following year, they were the number one team in the country. Adam Morrison was the number one player in the country.
His sophomore year.
So we played them the following year in St. Louis.
What was the outcome of that one?
They beat us. They barely got us to. And I had it, man. We played well, man. But Adam Morrison hit some shots late where I was like, yeah, he's the number one player in the country. I'm talking about fadeaways, like, but. That wasn't necessarily like a welcome moment because we had seen him before, but it was like, okay, yeah, he's really good because defensively we were one of the best defensive teams in the country, but he hit some, he hit some amazing shots. One of the biggest draft busts of all time. Can you like having that firsthand experience? Can you understand why he would get drafted? Did he go number one? Yeah, he was definitely lottery for sure.
Yeah,
and I can't remember if he was number one. From my like seeing it then, I didn't understand. Like I was like, why doesn't this translate into this? Because he's a bucket. He can get a bucket. But when you think about NBA basketball, how many guys are a bucket? Like or just automatic bucket?
All of them.
At that level, you got guys that get paid $80 million to say, don't shoot this basketball, shut him down.
Facts.
That's the difference. I think because he was a bucket, there were probably guys that were bigger, stronger, that didn't allow him to do that. And he had to find something else that he was going to be good at, and he probably just could never find it because he just was a bucket. And I think, did he go to the Lakers?
He was he won a ring with the Lakers.
So watch this. Who he playing with in his position?
That was like Kobe, Lamar Odom.
Is he better than Kobe and Lamar Odom? We talking about Kobe Bean Bryant. So are we going to get the ball to Adam Morrison or are we going to get the ball to Kobe Bean Bryant? So it's fine. Like the NBA, you can yes, players are buckets. They are buckets, but it's just like any other system. Is what's worked for this team. And if we got Kobe over here that can get a bucket, you're going to have to show me that you can do something else. He can already get a bucket. We don't have to run a play for him. And we seen you in practice. You can't get a bucket on him.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that when it comes to like bucket getters. So when I think of bucket getters, I don't classify everybody as a bucket. I don't even classify, like I have a high standard, like, oh yeah, he nice. I usually don't say that. I'm like, yeah, okay. Because it's a different level. And even when I talk about guys, when I say they're a pro, when I say the word pro, I mean NBA player. I don't mean overseas.
Okay.
So when I say pro, I mean NBA. Overseas now.
Yeah, that's such a dangerous game.
Yeah.
The way I look at it is like if the only way you know how to impact the game is by isolation, getting yours.
Yeah.
It's such a dangerous because, like you said, if you're trying to move up levels, there's the talent pool is like shrunk or more refined. So like, okay, Adam Morrison is probably the best bucket getter on Gonzaga.
Yes,
but now he goes and not better than Kobe.
Yeah.
And so now, if that's the only way you know how to get a bucket or how to make an impact on the game, kind of like Josh Giddey on the Bulls right now.
Yeah, Josh Giddey, yeah.
Like he's at his best with the ball in his hands. Let me get a pick and roll. Everyone spread out. Let me like dictate things. But if you're the GM and your offense revolves around Josh Giddey, you'll probably be decent kind of play in range, you know, but like, yeah. So that's just like a dangerous game to play is the way I look at it.
It's very dangerous. Like you, and I only understand because I understand systems and I understand the level of like the system. Like it takes very special people to make that 1% in the NBA. And when I say special, that means like, you gotta be damn near crazy. You gotta be crazy. You gotta be nuts because what you do to play in that league, people don't understand how much they sacrifice. Like you sacrifice everything. You sacrifice like time with your family. You sacrifice like time with your friends. You sacrifice holidays. You sacrifice what you gonna eat. You sacrifice this big ass bowl of ice cream right here. Cookies and cream. Your favorite thing of ice cream right here. It's 11 o'clock at night. And you looking at you like, damn, I sure want to eat this. Ain't nobody going to stop me from eating this ice cream. Ain't nobody here in my house. I bought it. It's mine. Knowing you got to, if you play for the Miami Heat, that you got to weigh in the next day.
Yep.
You can't eat that ice cream. So you got to be nuts to be like, oh, man, I can't eat this. I can't do that. I got to wake up at this time. I got to work out 4 times a day. I got to run these miles. I got to make sure I'm asleep in the middle of the day. I got to miss my little sister's graduation. I can't go home for Thanksgiving. There is no Christmas. There is no New Year's. I can't go out and kick it with my friends because they doing X, Y, and Z, and I know I can't be in this light. So that's a level of craziness that you have to be in that elite group of people.
Unless you're James Harden and you can.
But his talent level is elite.
So much above.
Yes.
That him operating at like 60% is still better than.
But then there's a time where he goes crazy and he like, okay, I can't do that.
Facts. Yeah.
Because you're like, damn, James Harden fat 2 weeks ago. That's what they say. He was fat 2 weeks ago and then come around, he got 30.
Yeah.
So it's like that level is like, you got to be insane. So
SLU 4 years. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to remember what Danny was saying because I kind of asked him what his 4 years was like in terms of like success and whatnot.
So our freshman year, we were horrible.
Was that also Danny's freshman year?
Yes, it was also Danny's freshman year. We had a lot of season players get injured, and it was season ending. So I would say like four. It was either three starters from the year before were out for the season, and one tried to come back. Like Reggie Bryant tried to come back, and he was our best player. Reggie went to Villanova before he came to SLU. He's one of the top guys that were on the team like the 2 years before. He was all conference, all everything. But Reggie actually hurt his ankle where like he would have days where he couldn't even walk, man. Like literally like couldn't like do anything. But he kind of try to thug it out at the end of the year, but he couldn't jump, couldn't elevate, couldn't guard anybody. Our starting center, he was out. He had 2 or 3 concussions. He was out for the season. Damn. So we were young, man. We were young, and we were taking beatings left and right. We were taking beatings. But I think our record was 9-21 freshman year. Then our sophomore year, we actually got a little bit more talent. Our sophomore year, so Luke Meyer wasn't playing much our freshman year. Danny was playing a little bit our freshman year. I led the team in minutes played. We didn't have any other guards. We had a guard, Anthony Drea, who actually played as well. But it was bad. It was bad. So our sophomore year, turned kind of a new leaf. We had Ian Voyukis, who had to step in as a big man his junior year, which he didn't get much playing time, but then he became like an All-American. So going into the next year, I got a little better. We ended up getting Kevin Lish, and Tommy Liddell actually joined the next year. Luke got played better, so Luke was actually playing a lot more our sophomore year as well.
Is that EJ Liddell's?
They say they're cousins. So, but Tommy was the smooth assassin, man. So he was like all freshman team, all conference, all everything. Left-handed. The funniest thing, our junior year, that was our sophomore year. Our junior year, we started 4 left-handers. Yep. Only team in the country. 4 left-handers. So, and at the time, my freshman year, we played with Brad Soderbergh. So our freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year, me and Danny both played with Brad Soderbergh.
That's right.
SLU. So our junior year, so we kind of turned it around. Our junior year, we were really good. We lost in the semifinals of a conference tournament, and the next day, our coach got fired. It was like a day or two later. It wasn't long.
So they had already made the decision.
Because at that time, our record, I think we won 20 games. Usually if you win 20, 21 games, you're assuring for something, whether it's the NIT or the NCAA tournament. And we beat a lot of teams. We beat a lot of good teams actually our junior year. But I think that because he got fired, we didn't make any postseason. Only because that happened. Then our senior year, they brought in Coach Majerus. So I played 1 year with Rick Majerus at SLU, which was his first year. And I always talk about that experience as it was very interesting as far as my learning and my development, but also my character as a person. Me thinking back to what I knew about Coach Majerus, it was him at Utah. And I always thought, I was like, man, the mean old fat guy. He's mean. That's odd because, in the early 90s, watching basketball, he, had the Utah team that played against Duke in the Final Four. And I'm like, and the way he coached, it was just aggressive. So in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to play for this guy. I was like, I'm not going to play for a mean, somebody yelling. I don't have time for it. But it actually was total opposite. It was the exact opposite. Because I played with Coach Irons and it was so detail oriented and perfection, that's all it was with Coach Majerus. He coached everybody the same way. I don't think he had a favorite. He had favorites later, but it was after they were done playing for him.
Okay.
He was a perfectionist. So your feet had to be pointing straight to the basket. Time, playing hard, talking, the smallest details that you could think of that would make a team successful, he keyed in on those. And it was only because I played with Coach Irons in high school that I was actually able to deal with and be successful under him, because he's a damn good coach. Basketball mind. He didn't care about, like I said, to make it to the NBA, you have to be absolutely nuts. That was him. Everything that he did was basketball. Didn't spend time with his family. Didn't have friends. No kids. It was basketball. And I loved it. Because even if we went to dinner, you could be sitting at dinner having a conversation. He would grab the salt and pepper, the spoon, and he started, writing stuff up, drawing, literally talking about basketball. And that was my life. I'm like, okay. And I learned a lot from him. I learned, and one thing about him, I did realize too, he was telling the damn truth. So some people can't handle honesty. Some people can't take hearing you're not that good. You're not that good. You can't do this. For me, whenever he challenged me, it was always in my mind, I'm finna prove your ass wrong. You too small to play. You too small. You're not that good. You're not good enough. But when you go back and you look at the games that I played and I started and all the minutes I played, I had to be good enough somewhere. So I had to prove. I proved that I was able. I proved that I could actually play at that level, and that's how I earned his respect.
I like that. I like that too. That he challenges you, and then you, because like the other way to go would be you just fold and I saw it every day. You flipped it and was like, okay, I'm gonna go even harder.
Yep.
Jason Tatum told a story on some podcast about halftime at a Duke game, and he wasn't playing too well. And Coach K was like, "Are you just a soft ass kid from St. Louis?" Yeah. And then that switch flipped.
I remember that.
Yep.
I remember that. And it's the I never questioned Coach Majerus his coaching tactics. I never questioned that because I knew it. I knew what we were kind of getting into. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing him before, but also I didn't take it personal. That was business. The basketball side was the business part of it. Like the business side, like you're not that good. That's the business part of it. Outside of the court, he'd give you the shirt off his back, and he loved his players. I remember one time we were we were going on the road, man. This tell you how crazy he is, but also like how much he cares about his players. We were on anytime we ate on the road, we didn't go to like Applebee's or McDonald's or nothing like that. It was the best restaurant in whatever city we was at. Italian, whatever. It was they got a nice barbecue over here. We're gonna go to this place over here. Like that was a given. We didn't know no Olive Garden. And I love Olive Garden. He made sure that everywhere we went to the best restaurants, had the best food everywhere we went. But it was one time we were on the road and, we were in Atlantic 10. So my freshman year, we were in Conference USA. So
that's right.
My sophomore year is when we moved to Atlantic 10. So going into senior, we would spend like a week on the East Coast because nobody was close. So you have St. Joe's, you have Temple, you have LaSalle. All of them are literally on the East Coast. St. Bonaventure is up north. The closest schools we had were Dayton and Xavier at that time.
Okay, yeah.
So we would have to spend a week or whatever away during the second semester. So that a week away from class at any level, high school or college, is crazy. You're missing a week of school. So we were talking about like laptops, like everybody didn't have a laptop or something. It was something crazy like that. And he was like, "Oh, wait, we don't have enough laptops," because we used to have to like rent them or like take them from like our our advisors. He was like, "Do we have enough? Don't worry about it. Go get laptops for the whole team. Everybody get laptops."
Wow.
Like that's how he was. He made sure that we were equipped and had everything that we needed to be successful.
That's incredible.
Like that was him. That was him. Like people feared him. They feared him. I mean, I've seen times where we're walking down the middle of campus or walking down a hall, and I see people see him and duck off and go the other way. But he was the nicest person in the world when you talk to him, and he be caring for you.
And then that makes the way he coaches translate or like resonate because he cares for you.
He's like that in practice. In the game, he's like, "What do you see?"
To who?
To me, the players.
Okay.
He like if you talk to players like Mike McCall, Kwame Mitchell, they love him because he let them rock. He like in practice they know it's like, all right, man, we got to do all this. We may have to practice for a long time, but in the game he like, what do you see? Take him. Like literally, there were times where, like in the game, you would hear him say, "Take him." I would go watch them play. Like after my senior, he'd be like, "Take him, Kwame, take him." But he let you rock. If you could show him that you can do X, Y, and Z, he know that you can make plays. But he wanted you to show that you can do it in practice. That's it.
And earn that trust.
Okay. And that's it. Like it wasn't. It wasn't hard for me only because I came from that kind of background. But for others, I seen them fold like a wet nap.
Yep. Definitely not for everybody.
Yeah, not for everybody.
So 4 years there, and then was the hooping career over, or did you?
Right after college, I actually got a job. So one thing we didn't talk about was I skipped over one of the most important pieces. Is my senior year of high school, I had 2 children.
Okay.
So that played a factor in me staying home and going to SLU as well.
Gotcha.
So
kind of like your mom.
Yeah,
right?
kind of like my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
Not it's almost the same exact thing. Apple don't fall too far from the tree. So I had 2 children. So going through SLU, right after college, I'm like, okay, I gotta take care of these kids. But I was blessed with an opportunity only because of what I did in high school to get a job for the Gateway Classic Foundation. So it was ran by Mr. Earl Wilson. He was a staple of the community. And if you knew what the Gateway Classic was, and I know during your time it was like over with then, but the Gateway Classic back in the day was a football game between 2 HBCU schools at the Dome. So they would bring them in town. So you have like Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Kentucky State, or like in the game. The game always changed every year, and that was like the thing to do. So it was like back in the day when you had like something called like the Hoop It Up, where everybody would just come into one place. Like you have like the scene hoops now. It's like the scene hoops on steroids for the next 50 years. So you have 20,000 people downtown at the Gateway Classic actually watching the football games, going to events and everything like that. So it was a big weekend. But we had did community service when I was at Vashon with Earl. So when I graduated from SLU, he actually wanted me to come work with the Gateway Classic. And I worked with him to put on the Gateway Classic, and I learned so much about it outside of the football game. Yeah. So they had like a St. Louis Rams breakfast. They had a Lifetime Achievement Awards. They put gold stars. If you actually go down to like the Gateway Classic Foundation now, you can see the gold stars actually still on the ground.
Where is it?
It's off of Martin Luther King, and I would say, I don't know what the side streets are. 19th, 20th, one of those. It's somewhere there. Like 19th, 20th, 21st, but it's the Gateway Classic Foundation building. It's still there, but if you walk around the building, there are gold stars. Like Coach Floyd Irons has a gold star in the ground. So they had like a breakfast. There was a bunch of events during the weekend, and me and a crew of 6 other people were responsible for putting on this whole weekend. So we had to go out and solicit to get people to, go do radio spots, be on the radio. You had to go to the 2 different schools to pass out flyers for the game. Coordinate, if it was a college party, like down to that. You had to coordinate like, okay, what are you guys doing this is the official after party of the Gateway Classic game. And I learned a lot about like networking.
Yeah.
Because I was actually speaking to a lot of different people. I learned about a lot about getting sponsorships, speaking to different corporations, because big corporations were coming in just to be a part of the event. So I always thank Earl for giving me the opportunity, because it was the first time in my life that I did something that was not basketball that I liked and I was successful at.
Okay.
Yep. So got a job, worked for Gateway Classic for a year, because it took a year to plan everything. Right after the Gateway Classic, I wanted to go back and play basketball. So I started kind of like working out. I became a sub, like a substitute teacher. Mm-hmm. I became a sub, and at the same time of me becoming a sub
at Vashon.
No, I was at in Ferguson, Florida. Okay. I was offered my first coaching job, and I coached at McCluer North High School, and it was girls. So at the same time, I'm still going to camps, like on the weekends, trying to find my way. Still camps you playing? Yeah, me playing. Oh, wow. Me playing. Okay. So almost any major league in the United States. So when you talk about like the TBL and stuff now, so before that you had like the CBA, you had the PBL. Before it was the Canadian Basketball League, you had that. Now they got 2 Canadian basketball leagues. I was actually in the league that started all of those. So I got drafted into the PBL in 2010. I was a first-round draft pick. And then 2 years later, they expanded and became the Canadian Basketball League, which is successful now. So during that time, the only reason I was able to actually play is because there was more of spring, summer, and high school basketball is winter. So I was actually a high school basketball coach for a few years at McCluer North, and I was actually playing professional basketball.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm trying to think of anybody that's done that or like that's coached and played at the same time.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
I've never heard of that.
It was rough though. I would have to find time. I was so dialed into coaching and my teams were really good that I put all my effort into coaching. But I had to do the same thing for me as a player.
Right.
But I'd rather for my players to develop and get better than me get better because I felt like, but I always like, okay, you can still go on and do this. So I was young. I'm like, okay, you can still play. You can still coach. You can be a successful coach and you can play because it does not affect their season. So there were times where after basketball season, I would leave for periods of time to go play and then come back right before June. And I would have to come back in June, and we would do all team camps and everything in June for high school basketball. And then, of course, in July, just like all of the overseas basketball now, guys now, they go to camps. You go out to Vegas to Summer League, and you do everything in July. So it never interrupted each other. So I would have a full-time job, and I was a basketball player, and I was getting paid.
That's like the dream.
It was a dream because I was making a lot of money.
Playing?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was making a lot of money. It was balancing out. So whatever somebody was making overseas, I was making more than them.
Really?
Yep. So I was like, why didn't even go? Why go?
Yeah.
And I'm playing in a quality league. I'm playing with some former NBA guys, future NBA guys. Then right after the PBL, we went to the CBA. And we actually won the championship in the CBA, which made me actually like, okay, this is pretty cool. Then after the CBA, it was the MPBL. We actually played at the St. Charles Family Arena, and we lost in the championship. We had one of the best teams. I would say assembled. That was like G League guys. So it was I'm not going to say G League. It was the D League. So at the before, so it was the NBA D League guys. So we would have guys to come to our team. So our team switched up from the beginning of the season to the end of the season because we had guys that actually would start with us and then go overseas to play and wouldn't come back. We would have guys that would start with us and then go to the D League to play. We would have guys that would get cut from the D League and then come to our team. So I played with a lot of really good basketball players around that time. And at that time, I was like a little older. So those guys are like early 20s. I'm like late 20s. So I was like a mentor more than anything. So I'll give you one of the players I played was Brandon Hogg. He runs Ball Hog Academy.
Shout out to Brandon, man.
That's my cat right there.
That's my guy. I didn't know y'all knew each other.
Yeah, me and Brandon Hogg, we actually was the backcourt together.
We did this academy together like beginning of this year.
Okay. Yeah. So Brandon was cold. Hey, that's
what he says.
Brandon was like the best guard in the league, and I'm talking about like literally like guys are like getting contracts. He probably got his first contract from playing in the league because he went to Albania like right after that, and they won the championship.
Okay.
So Brandon Hogg, he came. He wasn't there. He came late, and was like one of the best guards in the league. We had another big guy. His name was Marcus Good. He was like 6'10". I forgot what Marcus is from. Marcus was cold, but he came from the D League. We had another guard named Brandon Provost. He played in the D League, got cut because they said he wasn't scoring enough. Came to our team, and I kid you not, I'm not taking credit for nobody's like their success or anything like that. But me and him worked out like maybe for like 3 weeks, like before practice. Like, no, man, like you shoot that, like no, because he was a great point guard and he was younger too. And Brandon Provost got called back up to the league. His first game, he had like 18 to 20 points. And they signed him and kept him for the rest of the year. So seeing that, was like, okay, I think I'm pretty good at this coaching stuff. Seeing these guys go on. And again, I don't take credit for like Brandon Hall's success. He was a dog. He had it. He had it. But actually being able to help people who are like coming into their lives and we connected through basketball and like we still have these relationships now. Oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I could be a coach. I can do this forever. And our coach, he was an older guy. And he kind of showed me how to like break film down and to hold film sessions with players. Not necessarily like when I was at SLU because I already got that experience, but like more in depth, like watching for different tendencies and stuff like that. Like in college, we would watch film, but it was already broken down. They didn't show me how to break it down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Coach Al, he showed me how to break it down, and he would let me lead film sessions and everything. So that 2 years playing in there, I learned more about coaching and being successful than anything.
Yeah, because you're getting experience being a coach.
Being a coach, and I was like a player coach.
Right.
Yeah, and we were successful too. So it wasn't like our team was horrible. We lost in the championship game, and we were up 20. Yeah.
Damn.
We lost to? I'm pretty sure you know this name.
Who?
LaFonso Ellis Jr. Fines.
Yes.
So that's my guy. So me and him became pros together too. So he's younger than I am, but he played for what's the name of his team? But he came off the bench and hit like 8 threes in the fourth quarter, and that's how we lost. Yep. So.
Sheesh.
Yep. So I've been around for a long time. I've been, told you a lot of relationships, a lot of a lot of stuff with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
But
now it's cool to hear. Yeah, just hear your perspective on everything. What would you say? Well, let's go here first. So coaching, McCluer North, and then you kind of start your journey as a coach. This was a question that I was told to ask you.
Okay.
From a friend of the podcast, Danny. He wants to know, so like your personality. I forget what words he used to describe it. But like laughing, joking, likes to have fun, Mm-hmm. How do you kind of flip that switch and like, okay, it's game time, we're here, like practice, we're serious type of thing? How do you?
I learned this at a very young age. And it's cliche, but I'm going to break it down. The cliche is treat people how you want to be treated. So going into that is relationship building. If I know if I can build a relationship with you, and I'm gonna give you, this is my personality. You can put me in a room with 15 people that speak one language and I speak English. They speak something else. In 30 minutes when we leave out that room, I bet you they all laughing and they cool with me. Laughing. Yes. And they're cool with me. Half of them be like, I'm leaving out we going with him. That's my personality. Because I feel like I'm able to build relationships and connect with people that in ways that other people do not feel comfortable with. I don't have a bubble. I don't have I'm an open book. Like a lot of people know and like me because I'm honest. And I share everything, but also I'm optimistic. So the glass is half full all the time. I always feel like there's a solution to every problem. And if it's you and I'm connected with you in this source, I'm going to help you figure out that problem. We're going to figure this out. Like, and if we keep coming to dead, we're going to make a U-turn and come back until we're able to get through this dead end. So in building in those relationships and gaining trust from others, it helps me to be able to flip that switch when it's time. Because I know that if I can gain their trust, that they can run through a wall for me and they will believe in everything I say.
So kind of like Majerus did with you, built that relationship off the court. You know that he cares for you.
Yep.
So now when he's getting on you saying you're not good enough, like it comes from a place of love, from a place of I want to see you do good.
It come from a place where, if I'm a coach, they know that I have their best interest. My kids know that I have their best interest. It has nothing to do with basketball. It has nothing to do with winning either. Like I've won so much in my life. I don't really care about winning. What I care about is the experience. I don't care about the winning is the result. That's the end part of it. I don't like the end. I don't like for nothing to end. When it end, when the season end, what I'm about to do. I don't like that. I don't like that. When I was younger and me and a young lady ended a relationship, I'm like, oh man, I thought she was the one. I didn't like that. It didn't feel good. So I don't like the end. I don't like the result. I like the process. I think the reason why people think that or believe that I'm not necessarily like a good coach, but a good person that is a good coach is because I enjoy the process. Like I want to see you when you couldn't do a left hand layup to when you were windmilling. I enjoy that part of it. Like I have no problem with waking up at 5 a.m. and waking you up at 5 because I want to see the process. Like that's the part that I love. I don't want it to end. I don't care about the winning part. You're gonna win in life. If we follow these steps within this process, then when it's time for you to go out and spread your wings, you're gonna be successful in whatever you choose to do. It could be sports, to your a corporate manager in a corporate company. You're going to be successful.
I was going to say that's one of the most important skills to have in life is being process oriented like that. Because the way I think about it is, okay, we work hard for a state championship, or maybe if it's a life thing, like, okay, I want to make 6 figures. Money is a perfect example. Because it's like, okay, the goal is 150K a year. And then, okay, cool. We do that. We work towards it. We reach that goal. And then that just becomes our new reality. And we kind of just become desensitized to it. Mm-hmm. And so then, now 300K or whatever it is. But in reality, the time you invested to get to 150 is like 95% of it. Yep. And then the other 5% is you having that 150 and becoming desensitized to it. So the life is a process type of thing.
It's a process.
Yeah.
And my literally everybody, and I'm pretty sure it's my Danny want to ask that question. I'm like, man, how do you do it? Every time I never see you in a bad mood. Like my players will tell you, you know what? I ain't never seen him mad. I've seen him like mad at, and I'm like, you might have seen me mad at a situation, but like right after I addressed it, I'm back laughing. Like I'm back smiling. Every time you see me, I have a smile on my face because I enjoy life. I enjoy every part of the process, bro. Like every part of it. Like, and I credit a lot of that to my mom. Cause like in like how she was brought up. Again, they were teenage parents, and my dad, they were teenage parents. Like, are they gonna just fold or are they gonna figure it out? And every day I see my mom, every time I see her, if anybody else see my mom, the first thing they're like, man, your mom always smiling. She is. She's always a big smile on her face. So I credit a lot of that to her because that's pretty much where I learned it from. You got to figure it out. Ain't no stop. You got to figure it all out.
That's beautiful, man. That's one of the most, that's amazing. So then your personality, your outlook on life, especially with Vashon playing there, coaching there, we talked about the culture withstanding the test of time. How do those things shape your philosophy now as a head coach? Like, are there certain things from Vashon that you take with you to Lutheran North now?
Yes. At Lutheran North, and it's a lot that goes behind like me being at Lutheran North. One of the main things, just being the head coach there, that kind of like is like the driving force for me being there and just want to be successful or just to make a difference. A lot of people don't know this. Tony Irons went to Lutheran North.
Huh.
So like I said, a lot of this stuff, a lot of my experiences and like how I think or what I do go back to before I even got there. Like like I said, some things happen by chance, not by choice. So Tony's senior year at Lutheran North, he didn't have a really good experience. And I that was my best friend. So I was a sophomore, he was a senior. So he was the one who was driving. He had a car to come pick me up. We go off Highway 40 to hoop. We go to Heman Park and UC to hoop. We go to the YMCA to hoop. We go to Clayton Rec to hoop. So that's my best friend. So going through his senior year, and I think our sophomore year, again, that's one of the best teams in Vashon history. So our season is going extremely well, and he's struggling. And, this coach son, but I'm not looking at it as this is Coach Iron's son. I'm looking at it as Tony. This is my boy. I would go to games with him. Like there were times, man, it's a true story. His senior year was not going well. We finished, matter of fact, it was a weekend. Tony, he comes over to he was like, hey, I'm going to come over your house early in the morning, blah, blah. We're going to do something. So we at my house. We sitting there chilling. And my stepdad had just got a PlayStation. So he got a PlayStation. So he could play video games.
PlayStation 2?
Yeah, it was PlayStation 2.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm not a video gamer. Like it may have been a play. I don't know if PlayStation 2 or 1, but he knew how to play. I'm not a video gamer. So he like, come on, man. And we had just got this big screen TV with the big back on it in our living room at mom's house. He like, come on, man. We got the big screen. Let's play the game. So I'm like, okay. Hey, we got to be ready to go because you got a game. You got to be there. I think the game was probably 4. Let's say if the game was at 4. I'm like, man, we got to be there a couple of hours so you on time. He like, come on, man, let's play the game. So we playing the game, playing Madden. And playing Madden is probably like 1:45, bro. And I'm like, hey, y'all got to be at the school at 2. He like, come on, play another game. And this is a high school basketball game with the team that is the number 1 small school in the state of Missouri. Because Lutheran North was the number 1 small school and Vashon was the number 1 large school. So it wasn't like they were losing. So he's on a really good team, right? So 1:45, playing, finish the game. It's like 2:15. I'm like, come on, man, let's go. He like, nah, let's play another one. I'm like, come on, man, you got a game. Like, we not finna sit here and play. He like, nah, man, let's play another one. Sit there and play the game. Boop. The game ends probably like 2:45. I'm like, come on, bro, we gotta go. He like, I'm not playing today anyway. I ain't playing. I'm not playing. Let's play a half. Play a half. I kid you not. The same door where my office is at Lutheran North. Me and him drive to the school. We walk through the same doors where the locker room is. The team is in there. They're dressed. The coach is talking to them. Me and him walking through the locker room together. And he like, yeah, just go sit out there with it. Because I would go there, but he's like, just go out there and just sit, wait. So I go out, sit in the stands. He get dressed. He come out, don't play. So I went through his experience of how it was at Lutheran North. Now, the only positive out of that year is that was the first year Lutheran North won the state championship in basketball, and he was the starting point guard. So coming into the playoffs, he knew that he had to play him in order for them to win. So they won a state championship, and Tony never talks about Lutheran North. Nobody ever knows he actually went there. So part of me actually going to Lutheran North has a lot to do that I want to do for my brother what he did for Vashon basketball at Lutheran North. Because that's where he went to school. And I knew that left a bad taste in his mouth. So a lot of my coaching, a lot of what I do, yes, it's to help out the youth, but I'm also thinking about my best friend and like, no, I'm trying to do what you did because you didn't have to do that for Vashon basketball. You didn't have to. You made that happen. You chose to do that. So now I'm finna come up here and make this amend. Let me restructure and rebuild this bridge over here so you can be proud of where you came from too. Now, will it happen? You know what I'm saying? Now, will it happen? Not sure. But what I know is going to happen is I'm going to try my best. And that's all I'm going to do.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. A lot of people don't know that. I don't even talk about that for real. But a lot of people don't know that.
Trying to help it become something that Tony or whoever can be like, that's where I went.
That's where I went.
I love that.
Because a lot of people think Tony went to Vashon. And he didn't. So a lot of my, when you talk about like me at Lutheran North and, what I'm building, is a lot of the philosophies that I've come across with. Yes, I've taken little bits and pieces from everywhere, from Coach Irons, from Tony, from Rick Majerus, from Brad Soderbergh, from Marvin Neals, from Preston Thomas. I've taken a lot of this stuff from all of these great people, and I'm balling up and I'm putting it into one recipe. That's Lutheran North basketball. Within our program, we have 5 rules. And
I
these
like
rules is finna sound. You finna hear this. You've heard this before. Don't miss. Don't be late. Shirt tails in. Can't be hurt. Can't be sick. No excuses. That's 6.
Can't be hurt. Can't be sick.
Yep. Can't be hurt. Can't be sick. And then no excuses. You remember what I did the rules earlier? And I said I usually don't say no excuses, but that's 6.
Can't be hurt, can't be sick.
Can't be hurt, can't be sick. What happens when you're hurt and when you're sick?
Can't play, which is the 3rd one.
Can't play.
Or can't miss, which would be the...
So, you'll miss. What happens when you're sick?
You're going to miss.
Gonna miss. But being sick, Jordan played with the flu.
Maybe was hungover, but yeah.
It was the pizza.
That's right. That's right.
It was the pizza.
Food poisoning. So like, can't be hurt, how does that, is that like preaching the importance of the weight room, or like how does that rule like manifest itself?
I'm glad you asked that question. You ever hurt your finger?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
I stuck it in a blender.
Okay.
And I had to get stitches.
Did you go train this morning?
This morning, yeah.
Okay, that's hurt. I didn't say injured. So the difference between being hurt and being injured. So injured,
Okay.
It's a broken hand. I can't physically do it. Hurt, my calf muscle hurting a little bit.
Little aches and pains.
My knees hurting. My shoulder hurting a little bit. Injured, we know. Broken leg, yeah, you out. The injury and being injured and being hurt is 2 different things. So you can't be hurt. Your feelings hurt. People's feelings hurt. Can't fix your hurt feelings. So get out of them. Like get out of your feelings. But that's what hurt is. Can't be hurt. Oh man, my back hurting today, coach. Like your back hurt? I don't even get that though. I don't even get that part. I don't get, coach, my back hurting or my knees hurting. I don't even get that.
So then what is so one end of the spectrum is I'd like bruised my shin and it kind of hurts. And then the other end of the spectrum is a broken leg.
Yes.
I could see there being some in between where it's like my back is hurt or whatever, but like I'm gonna push through it because that's one of our rules, but then that makes it worse.
Nope, it's not a rule.
What do you mean?
It's a connection. You remember when I talked about the relationship
between
them and me?
Okay.
I don't get, coach, my back hurt. It's either I can go or I can't. I don't get in between. I don't get, no, it's because of what we built. It's like, I can't go. Literally, it's not there's no in between. There's no gray area.
So then you feel like, and I don't know, but like based on the relationship that you've built, you trust that they trust you to say, okay, my back's bugging, like I really can't go.
Yep, that's what I get. I really can't go.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. It's not a you sure? I'm not gonna do that.
I like that.
Like you can't. okay. What do we have to do to get you back? That's the next step. It's not, you sure? Because now it's gray area. It's either yes or no. It's either you can or you can't. Because if you're back hurting and we're playing in this game, the guy that you're playing, the guy that has the ball that you're guarding, he's not going to know or not even incur that your back hurting. You're not. And then but my back hurting. No, that's not how that works. No, it's either you can or you can't. You can't. So, but that's me. Like I've developed that type of relationship to where it's like, nah, I definitely can't. There's no way. And I'm like, all right, well, what do we gotta do to get you right? Well, it's gonna take 3 weeks. Okay, come on. Let's see. All right, how you feeling? And you know what I'm gonna keep doing the whole time? Like within that process, you okay? How you feeling? Not move him to the side next. Nah, you mine. That's my kid. Like you, like no. Like I'll be honest. I'm like I said, I'm open book. I can share things with my program. Like I had one of my kids was like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling playing basketball. Like I don't know if I'm feeling it. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Talk to me. He was like, man, I don't think it's nothing really that you're going to be able to say because I kind of have my mind made up. So I'm like, okay. All right, well, go do your thing. A week later, I text him. Say, hey, what's going on? You okay?
You texted him just out of the blue?
I text him a week later. Boop.
Like out of the blue just because okay.
Yep, out of the blue. Text him a week later. He like, what made you reach out to me? I said, well, do you think I care about you? He was like, well, I would hope so. And I was like, exactly. Like, this is not just you're not here just to play basketball, bro. Like, our relationship goes deeper than basketball. Like, I care about like your well-being and like, just say if you're not going to play basketball, you think our relationship is going to change? No, it's not. It has not changed. You could tell me like, well, coach, I want to be a chef. And I'm like, okay, but no more basketball. Hey, take this number right here. Call this person. They can help you with the chef stuff because that's not me. I be burning noodles. So they're going to make sure you're taken care of. Like all of my relationships I have with my players don't start or stop at it starts with basketball because that's how we're introduced. It doesn't stop with basketball. Like I said, I care more about their well-being and what they're doing. You know, so to be successful young man, period. So with just hurt and being hurt, if you can fight through or you can get through that little bit of adversity, when you go through something later on in life, I know you're going to be able to get through that too. Easily. But when you know it's a roadblock, you're going to need some help. So you can recognize this problem. You can recognize that you're injured, that you have a problem, and you're going to reach out like, I need help with this. When you face a real problem in the future, you'll recognize when you're going to need help, and you're going to say, hey, I need help with this because that's something that people struggle to do as well.
For sure.
So it's some, a lot of life lessons that go with it, but, basketball just kind of introduced us to all of it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. All right. Last 2 questions. First one is another one from Danny. He wants me to ask you if you think you're the best, how would I word it? Like, out of all the coaches in the Midwest, do you think you're the best dancer?
Yes.
Easily. No,
that's not even close.
No hesitation.
Not even close.
No hesitation.
Close. I'm definitely the best dancer. I'm probably the best dancer in the country.
Out of all the coaches?
Out of all the coaches, for sure.
Okay. Best because of you do one thing really well, or the wide array of what you have in the bag?
I can go in a room with 15 people who don't even speak the same language.
Uh-huh.
And I can come out and we all had a good time within the room.
Because it was just a dance party the whole time.
It was being able to relate to everything.
Okay.
So have you seen? Have you ever heard this cliche that black people can fit in anywhere? You ever heard that before? It was like
No.
it was a video of a guy. He was at a Mexican like family gathering.
Okay.
And they had food. He had a plate in his hand. And then they played like some Mexican music, and he was on beat. And the caption said that, you know, black people can fit in anywhere. That's kind of how I feel. I can fit in anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So when it comes to fitting in and dancing, I can figure it out. I can figure out any type of dancing there is, from line dancing to ballet. Now we can figure it out.
Okay. Line dancing, ballet, the like, you probably had the like, I guess that's like square dancing where you're like spinning them around and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Danny asked, he told you actually, he know I love to dance, and everybody who know me, they know dance. I love to dance. I'm like the life of the party.
What's the, gosh. Hey, Houston. All right, he's not here. There's a spot.
In Central West End?
I believe so.
Viva?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I have a teammate from Vashon, Kenny Daniels. He is cold. Like he after basketball. So Kenny he played at Vashon. He went to Cal State Northridge. He was a great player, played professional as well. But like after basketball, he learned how to dance. So doing the salsa dancing and all the different dances, he's cold. Like he's been trying to get me to come out, like literally for a long time. He's like, come on, man, I know you're gonna enjoy this. Bring your wife, you know, we can get out there and, you know, have a good time. So, but yeah, Viva, it be popping there.
So you've been there?
I've been there before, multiple times.
Yeah, Houston, he's been there a handful of times. He's mentioned me sliding a couple times.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. It sounds
it is so fun. It's so fun.
Because he was saying there's like one night's kind of Afro beats. Mm-hmm. He was saying he went to a couple nights. I guess it's like salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing, yep.
And that's kind of a bigger one, is what he was saying. People
like,
go crazy.
When you get that stuff, you don't like, you feel uncomfortable. Like you just don't know what to expect. Like the second time I went, I'm like, okay. First time I'm like, oh man, I'm coming back. Second time I went, I'm like, okay, it's a different crowd of people. Like this lady just like, come on, let's dance. So like the ice was broken, like from out the gate. So you're like, okay, all right, okay, let's do it. That's how it is. It's not like people standing on the wall or like it's tough. Like some people are conversing, but like no, they're here to dance. Okay. Yeah. So it's a really good time. He's
talked me into it. I could definitely see myself pulling up one time, make a fool of myself and have fun.
They won't judge you. you got pros to beginners in there. Like they won't judge you. They'll show you how to do it. So
that's beautiful. I might have to pull up one time.
Oh yeah.
The last question I have is, so you were saying, I forget what you mentioned. Some part of your timeline took place in the 80s. Yes. That was you growing up.
Yeah, I was born in 1985. Okay. So from 80, I was 1 to 5.
Okay. And then you were saying you would spend a lot of time in the gym when Pops was in college and whatnot. So in terms of St. Louis basketball, you've seen it evolve and change.
Yes.
For, I guess that's 40, almost 50 years. What, from your perspective, has been the biggest change with St. Louis basketball from that time until now?
The biggest change that I've seen has a lot to do with social media. It's provided like a platform for the youth now to get exposure to different things that someone in the 80s or early 90s did not have an opportunity to get exposed to. When you look look over time, you can't. There's really not like a comparison. So you can't say it's like one thing that's better than the other. Because in the '80s we had guys to go to the NBA in the '80s. In the '90s, guys to go to the NBA in the '90s. Then in that mid 2000 range, you get guys to go to the NBA, but them end up being the best guys in the NBA though. That was the only thing. So we had a period of time where David Lee, and then you had Brad, and then you had Jason, where they were like, oh man, them $200 million guys, they kind of stood out. But when you go further back, you have guys like JoJo White, who was like one of the best guys in the NBA. So there was not a time where it kind of stood out outside of like that little small period of time.
The small period was like
the David Lee, Brad, and Jace, like around that time. But as far as like being able to go to the NBA from here, man, you've had guys to actually do it. So I don't think of it as like, okay, well, they didn't have nobody go to the NBA. Yes, they did, and they were successful, very successful. And then in the 2000s, you have the same thing. One thing I think that has changed like a little bit more, you may see a lot more guys actually going overseas now than you actually seen during those times. Like, so guys now are probably having way better basketball careers than guys that are actually from like the 80s or early 90s. That's one big difference. I can't even make a comparison like to like McDonald's All-Americans and stuff like that either. Because again, during those times you had guys who were. So I can't make a comparison like, hey, now is better than then or then is better than now. The only significant like difference, and not necessarily we're gonna talk on like just the St. Louis basketball scene. The only significant difference in then 80s, 90s, early 2000s to now is the summer, like the professional scene, like the summer basketball, like the professionals or the pros that actually played in. Like the Bonner League or the Pro-Am League that actually would come back to play now. When you think of like stuff like the show meets, like I remember going to show meets to watch my dad play and Tyronn Lue is on the other team. At show meets. We're talking about the same show meets we're talking about now, then, and you got Tyronn Lue playing, who's in the NBA. That's like the only difference is a lot of those pros like around that little time from the 80s, early 90s, early 2000s were playing. Now they're not. But I think it has a lot to do with contractual stuff too, though. Yeah. So I think that's the difference. Like,
because nowadays I feel like they're big on the load management stuff.
Yes. So you can't. That plays a factor, but it's like, dang, but it's in a contract. So it really is like it's hard to say what the difference is, or like does this era have better this than that? Because it's not a landslide anywhere. Not a landslide.
I like that. Mm-hmm. St. Louis has been like that in terms of talent. What we're putting out.
Yeah, I think we have more girls' talent than boys' talent
right now, or overall.
Overall, I think the girls' basketball side.
I know Incarnate Word is a powerhouse.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse.
Just cranking.
So we talking about Vashon basketball. This is like, you got Incarnate Word basketball. They got Vashon basketball. Like, when the last time they lost? When the last time Incarnate lost state championship?
Dude, I came across the number. This was like a year ago. I forget what it was, but it's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, do you know?
Insane. It's insane. I could probably picture it.
I think it's like in the 20s, maybe. Maybe not that many.
I'm talking in a row.
In a row?
In a row.
How many do you think?
It's in the 20s. No, it's not in the 20s. Because going back 20 is 2006. Right? It's 2026. They go back 2006. Nah, they ain't won that whole time.
You know how long Dan has been there?
Yeah, like 30 years. No.
Oh, really?
No. So 30 years would take us to 96. He was at SLU before he went there. And I forgot what year he left SLU, though.
SLU College?
St. Louis University, yep.
Coaching the girls?
Girls. He was, I think he was an assistant coach on the girls' staff and then went to Incarnate. It was something like that. Told you I'm an encyclopedia.
I swear.
But I can't remember what year that was. And you got to think, I was like in middle and elementary school, too, where I was watching all of this stuff. What year was that? Because you would have what used to get them was like a Blue Springs or like a Rockbridge or like a Hickman or something like that. But they was always in like the in the league of their own though. So if they got knocked, you best believe they won 2 in a row after that. It was something crazy like that, yeah. But even looking at like in Cornet and girls basketball, like we've had better girls basketball players. We've had better girls basketball players.
Fee, isn't she from St. Louis?
Mm-hmm. Fee, Neil Ivey. That's the head coach of Notre Dame.
Oh,
and she won the national championship with Notre Dame too. Her son is Jaden Ivey that played for the Bulls.
Yes. Who no longer plays for the Bulls.
Yeah, no longer plays for the Bulls.
But yes, he's nice.
Yeah.
And she went to high school here.
Corey Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not crazy tapped in. I know Whitfield has a girl right now that's
it's been a lot of them.
Top of the food chain.
All the Shugs. If a girl named Shug that came through her, she was cold. For real. Like you have the one she's in the WNBA now. Sutton. And then you had the Shug Dickerson that I think she went to Lutheran North. She was cold too.
Was Sophie Cunningham from here?
Yep. She was, I think, Columbia though. Columbia, I think.
That's what I thought.
I think Columbia, yeah. Who else? One thing. It's a lot of them. Man, it's a lot. We had one of Vashon. So Lisa Butler. She went to Georgetown. That was just at the V.
Webster had KK Rodriguez.
Yeah, KK.
And then Jada Stewart, who ended up playing. She transferred to Kirkwood, but ended up playing at SLU for a year, I think.
And it's crazy though. Watch this. It was a time frame where St. Joe's girls ran it. They had a frame where they were cold, like beating in Cornet good. So you had a time where St. Joe's was good. You had a time where Corey Hazel was good. And you had a time where Cornet was really good, and Viz was really good. When I coached on the girls' side, that's what we would lose to Viz. We would lose to Viz in like the not in like the quarterfinals or in sectionals.
Where'd you coach at?
At McCluer North.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they had a long run where they were actually really good too. And I'm not even counting the St. Louis public schools. My goodness.
Really?
Gateway. Oh my God. That's who was winning the state championships like in the early, like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was Gateway. Gateway High School had the best girls basketball program around here.
I got to do my homework.
My goodness. Oh, they had hey, telling you, like man, encyclopedia, man. I can tell you from like the NBA stuff to the college stuff to high school to the hood stuff. Like I can tell you about who the best hood basketball players that never played college basketball.
Dude, that's crazy, man. I was at the pro-am that just happened. I was helping coach a team. Mm-hmm. But I forget where that was at. Was that like St. Charles area?
Yeah, it was just held at the St. Charles, but it's usually somewhere in the city.
Like Live for Life, I thought.
Yeah, Live for Life or Courtney Ritter. It's been at Vashon. It's been a lot of different places.
But I was helping coach a team this year. Mm-hmm. A couple guys I train were on the team.
Okay.
But as I'm in the gym, seeing everyone walk through the door, I'm like, oh, damn, I remember him. Oh, he was from this. He was from this. I remember playing him. I remember. That stuff's fun, man. I like it.
It is very fun.
Yeah.
I've won that a couple of times, too.
You've won that?
So, yeah, we put a Vashon team in there, and we won it. And I've won with FTC. So, me and Buck are like that. After me and Tay, we won.
Okay.
Yeah. I
can imagine your like your trophy room at the crib is just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is so my sister, right? So this how deep it is. So high school, I won 3 state championships. So I won my freshman year, my sophomore year, and my senior year. That is very hard to do, right? Guess how many championships my sister won?
4?
3.
3.
At Live for Life, Diamond Polk. This year, she won this year. It's her 3rd one.
Wow.
I don't think nobody else in the city of St. Louis can say that.
2 family members.
Brother and sister.
Brother and sister combining for 6.
And our dad lost in 1. So that's just as players. Like as a player.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the craziest stat though.
Okay.
You never asked me how many games I lost in high school.
Ooh. Well, 0 senior year.
There you go.
Are you counting junior year?
I was hurt.
Okay. Give me a over under, and I'll choose.
Three.
Over under 3. National schedule sophomore and junior year.
Every year.
Every year. I'd go over 3.
No.
Under 3.
Yes.
2?
2.
2 games.
I lost 1 game my freshman year to Chicago Farragut on the buzzer beater, and I lost to LeBron James my sophomore year.
That's very valid if you're going to lose to someone.
Yeah. So when we talk about St. Louis legend all in my Instagram and on my arm and stuff like that, can't nobody say stuff like that either.
Lost twice.
So we talk about playing and coaching too, though. It's not too many people I've lost to in the city of St. Louis either.
Not many people who have lost to.
Who I've lost to.
Oh, I see. As a coach. Or just overall.
And a player.
And a player. Facts, because coaching at the V, probably the same thing. I would imagine most of the L's, yeah, definitely.
The most L's I've taken
but all of the L's would be out of state. I can't think of any team you would have lost to.
I'm talking Pro-Am too.
Except Webster, my sophomore year. Right? At the V.
That was at the V.
And we won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened your junior year?
We lost.
But y'all got us though.
We weren't at full strength that second half though.
Do you know how many people were at that game? Do you remember that game?
I remember it.
At the pit.
At the pit?
I mean at the
Merrimack.
At the new V. At the new V.
Oh.
The one y'all beat us.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
What you didn't see was the number of people that didn't get in the game. That was ridiculous. So stuff like that is how it was when I was in high school. Like every game was like that. Like Merrimack was all right. Merrimack was packed. But that game when y'all beat us at Vashon, that was ridiculous. But every last one of our games was like that when I was in high school.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got a vivid memory. I forget how he got into it, but Cartier, like one dribble downhill, behind the back. I forget who was guarding him, sort of like went flying the other direction. They went
the other way, yep.
Bang, and won, and just goes crazy.
That was crazy. It's like they fell.
Yeah.
It was like they dove for the ball.
Yeah.
They dove for the ball. I remember that. I was like, ooh. But I was a Corey, man, he had some game, bro. He had game. Y'all gave us some problems.
I'll say this. So encyclopedia, right?
Yep.
I would put Cartier's high school resume up against anybody. Huh?
Me too. People don't know what he did in the summer with Ramey.
Team USA.
Yes.
Gold medal.
Yeah.
Peach Jam. 2-time state champion.
That's crazy. That Ramey team was crazy.
Him, Torrance, Courtney, DeAndre.
Yeah. People, but again, you have to be in tune, but also you got to be realistic. You got to be realistic. You got to accept the fact that like you got to appreciate good basketball, and you can't be a hater. Like, you can't be. That team was damn good. I would put that team up against any team in the country at that time.
Ooh.
Just think, look at the team. That team put Team Ramey on the map.
Yeah.
For real, they did. That team was amazing. But if you're looking at it, you're like, man, if you have any hater bone in your body, like, oh, they ain't that good. They don't play in the EYBL. They play over there in that circuit. It don't matter. It didn't matter. That team was damn good. That team could compete with anybody, and they showed that they would win tournaments. Like, if you were winning NY to LA, if you're winning the Spiece gym rat tournament, if you're winning the Adidas thing over here, if you're winning, that's a difference. Like, if you're winning it, not going and, oh yeah, we played in a championship game. No, win it. Then, like, when you win something, then you put yourself in a different tier. So that's why I feel like how I feel about myself. I don't lose. I didn't lose. Like, I literally was like, man, I didn't lose. So when we talk about like all of us Vashon guys, when we say, okay, who's the top 5 and all that, I started laughing because you really can't pick one. Like, you can't pick like a top 3, but I'm somewhere up there. Like, Jimmy is amazing. Joe Shelton is amazing. Sean Tunstall is amazing. Like, you can't discredit Anthony Bonner for his career. He went to the NBA. Trey Williams won 4 state championships. How you go? What's going to separate these guys? You can't say, "Oh, you won Player of the Year." You can't say that.
Right. Yeah.
You can't say, "Oh, well, you can't say, well, we won state." You can't say that because he won 3. Look, these 40 people over here won 3.
Yeah.
So, like, you got it's there has to be like some serious like statistics and like views that's gonna shift people to get in there. There's only one thing that all of them ain't. It's 2 things now. Trey has won 4. Trey Williams has won 4. He's the only player to win 4. So that put him in a class of his own. I went undefeated.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, undefeated.
You can't say you won 3. Can't say you won Player of the Year. Can't say you won Player of the Year twice. Like, you can't say stuff like that. Like, Jimmy won it twice.
Yeah, even be in the conversation.
Yeah, Joe Sheldon won it twice. Like, yeah. Nah, like, what else did you do? So again, we and it is literally hilarious because you get all these guys from the 80s, you get the 90s, you get the 2000s, you get the mid 2000s, and now you get kids now, and you put them all in one room and say, who had the best team? Like, it's crazy. It gets crazy in there.
Yeah.
So, like, that 1988 Vashon team, the shortest person on the team was 6'4". In the starting lineup. Everybody else 6'7", 6'8", 7 feet. Like, when we talk about teams, man, you have to be, in order to be in that program, to have like some clout or some status, you have to have something that nobody else did.
What year did Cam Stovall graduate?
2021.
Okay. Shout out to Cam.
Yeah, was it 21 or 22? It was 21 or 22.
I think 22. I helped coach him with Gateway for a summer. There's like what's the word? But like, I think like he has 4 rings, right?
COVID.
What about it?
That's what cut him off.
Cut him off from what?
He would have 4.
He would have 4?
COVID. They didn't play.
Okay, so then what about...
But this is the crazy thing about the COVID year. Part of Missouri basketball state championships were played. The other 4 wouldn't. Because they would, after a weekend, they canceled everything. Like, so when COVID got bad, they canceled it. But the three teams that made, I think it was either two teams that made it to state, Vashon had already beat them.
That's right. Because once they were like, nah, we're like done.
Yeah, everything was shut down. Everything.
But that was like, because I remember getting sent home from college and thinking like, oh, I'm getting an extra week of spring break.
Yep.
Which is always when the state stuff happens.
Yep. Everything shut down.
So there was class like 1 through 3 or something.
Yep. It was like 1 through 3. But I don't even think it was that. I think it was like that year. It was weird because I think. So that was Caleb Love's senior year, I want to say.
Yep.
Because I think they won it.
CBC?
Yeah. They either made it or won it. Because I know CBC made it.
That was
That was COVID.
No.
That was COVID. Because that was Cam. See, Cam, Kobe, Field. They didn't play theirs, and that's Caleb's year.
And they won?
I want to say CBC made it, but I don't know if they played theirs either.
Okay.
I don't know if they played theirs and won, or I don't think they played it. I know they made it, but it was like that was the same time because I was like, dang man, CBC was finna win too, because I was like, Caleb gonna go out with a bang.
Right.
I was a big Caleb fan, so.
Yeah. Sure. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
So I was like, he gonna go out with a bang, even though we stopped him at the OV. At the new V, I mean.
Yeah, we played them my senior year, and he called me a bitch ass white boy. But then we gave him the L and won the tournament.
And won in Webster?
Yeah.
I love that tournament, man.
Great tournament.
I love the tournament. Do you have a book? You see whose name? I need you to get a book and see if my name is in the record books.
We probably have one.
I have one at home. The only reason I have one because we played in the tournament this year for the first time at Lutheran North. And I got the book.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so your name's on there for records of what? Like most points
MVP.
or something? MVP.
Yeah, that year.
Okay.
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
There you go.
Webster Classic MVP.
Yeah.
I told you I won everything, man.
Everything. Except Gatorade.
Except Gatorade. But I was undefeated though, so you can't take that away from me.
There you go. Okay. Like I said, man, once we get to talking hoops, just gets to flowing.
It does.
So how we always end it is 2 things. So 1, any last message that you want to leave the people with? It could be words of wisdom, some motivation. If there's like a common theme that you feel like we've touched on a lot that you want to say again or something, like really the floor is yours, anything you want to speak on. And then 2, plug away, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to promote.
Words of wisdom that I would like to leave just everybody. And then, like I said, this is not sports specific, only because I think sports provides a platform for better life.
Facts.
But one thing I would say is to always treat others how you want to be treated. To build positive relationships, and to encourage others to have strong leadership characteristics that could help them be successful in life. It's not where you start. It's not where you finish. It's the process of it is what's going to leave your legacy for when you're gone.
That's fire.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before you plug away, I just remembered there was something you said at the beginning about, was it the number that your dad wore?
Yes.
And then you were like, we'll get back to that.
So at Colorado State, when I was very young, My dad had a poster, the same as, all college basketball players, no matter what level you play on, you probably have this poster with your name, with you in the game. It's like an action shot. You got your name on there. You got your jersey number. At Colorado State, my dad wore number 00. And I told you that things don't happen by choice. When I got to Vashon, I was given 00.
Ooh.
When I got to SLU, it just continued on, and I had 00.
SLU, they gave you 00 or you chose it?
Yes. I chose 00 at SLU.
At SLU.
But at Vashon, I did not choose that number.
Which is almost even more like stars aligning because that's where he played at.
They all aligned. Again, it's not by choice. It's by...
Yeah.
Everything was aligned.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's been my life. Like, literally. Like, everything's been aligned like crazy. And I think that's why I always say, like, I'm like an encyclopedia because I can go like everything. And sometimes I have a photographic memory and I could tell you, like, what color people had on and everything. Crazy.
That's wild.
It's wild.
That's crazy.
It is. But that's my passion. Like, my passion was basketball. It was just basketball. Basketball is still my passion, but it's like, okay, I could do this, but I'm also good at this over here.
So I've heard stories of coaches. It's like players or someone else talking about other coaches, and they'll be like, yeah, he could recall like the two teams playing, the play they ran, the time of the game, the night of the week it was. Is that
Yep.
the level you're on?
Yep.
Nice.
I'm talking moment by moment. Like boop, 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 boop.
That's
moment
crazy.
by moment. Certain things. The older I get, I'd have to think about like some small stuff, but I could be like, okay, this is what happened, and I can kind of pinpoint it. But that helped me as a player too, though. So like seeing plays, like if I had to learn like a coach wanted to put in like a system or a play, I see it once. It's like drumline. You know how you say he saw it. Like he couldn't read music, but he saw it and he knew it. That's me.
Yeah.
That's me. I can see it and be like, okay, yeah, here you go.
Just see it once, maybe twice.
Whether you write it, there are three different type of learners. There are people who they're visual learners. They got to see it. Then it's people that are learners. They got to listen. They got to listen to it. They can hear it and they can understand it. And then it's the other learner is somebody who has to experience. They got to do it in order for them to learn it. They got to get in there and they got to mess up. They got to write this problem down, mess up, and then do it again. I'm all three. Literally.
It doesn't matter.
Not when it comes to basketball. You can say, all right, I need you to go free throw line extended. When he drive baseline, you cut from the 45. So we're like, what? So when he drive, hey, I need you to go set a cross screen. After you set a cross screen, come set a back screen for the person up top of the key. When you catch it, he going to turn and set a ball screen. You come back to your right. Boop, 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 catch it. Come on. But you can also write them on the thing, and I can be like, okay, you don't even have to say a word. And I can like, okay, I got it.
As a coach, have you felt like you have to like, it's an adjustment when a player doesn't pick it up as easily as you did as a player?
So I say, I know my kids. I learn them. We go through so much stuff and we develop such a relationship. I know that I can't use this board. Like you won't see me with a board if I know that them two can't get it. You're not going to see me. Oh, hey, we got to do this. You don't see me coaching with a board because I already know that 5 seconds into this, he's going to look over there at his mom. 5 seconds to this, he's going to look and see if his shorts wet. I know that when I get in the huddle, if I have a group that I'm like, okay, when we get in this huddle, all right, this is a 30-second timeout. I got him for 5 seconds. Block out. Hey, but also look for this, look for that. And then we on offense run this. Because I know when we come down, they may not run what we're going to run on offense. But the most important thing is just blocking out. So the first thing I say is block out. because I lost them. I lose them. So that's just knowing my kids, knowing the players, like knowing what push their buttons, knowing that I can say something situational, knowing I can say something to him and I can say something to him and it mean two totally different things.
Jeez, there's lots of gems right there. Because folks are scrolling on TikTok all day.
Yep.
So you have to like package it in a way that they have the attention span for.
And COVID.
What about it?
COVID. Yeah, COVID babies. Yeah, people. You had some kids that when COVID hit, they were they were going into the first grade. Then they didn't go back to school till they was in the 5th grade.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like when COVID hit, they were going into the 1st grade. Like they're learning. So they're at home. I'm at home for the next 3 years. And then you want me to go back to school? So you go from 1st grade to 5th grade. What did they do when they were at home? Yep, that's all they did. So now you're going into, let's say COVID babies. Those are literally COVID babies. We're coming to the end of like some of them now. So that like the way that they probably process or view some things were different. Like they viewed space different. How you talk to them, like how they like you getting by them, like, that's nasty. Don't drink after me. Like that. Like you're just now getting over that. Well, would you drink out of a water fountain?
Germ wise, yeah.
I would too. They wouldn't.
Because
COVID.
Oh, because they've just kind of like been programmed.
They've been programmed to not to do these things. Like literally, like we were. I felt it. I was a victim. I love being at home. I don't have to do anything. Same. What? I don't have to go. I don't have to talk to anybody. I can be at home. I can watch it.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah, don't tempt me with a good time. We all felt victim. But we learned. We had already learned that there was a difference though. Like there was a different world.
And that's all they knew.
That's all they knew.
Yeah.
That's all. It was hard. It was probably hard to get them to participate in activities like PE. Like you gotta come. Like, I gotta walk.
Right.
Yeah.
And even socially.
Yeah.
1st through 2nd, 3rd grade, whatever it is, you're not really like interacting with real people. Even something I remember hearing about was like if they're covered up from the nose down.
Yep.
They can't pick up on their like facial expressions, which is a huge thing for like social intelligence.
It is.
And they're just not getting that.
Yep. Nonverbals, I'm all that. Like even when I'm speaking with you, you sound like that. Like it's like a lot of, but this all goes into my coaching and like just how I process things too. But like literally like not like it was a point where like I had to literally damn near teach a class on like their body language. Not because I subbed you out the game. No, forget the game. This ain't about basketball. Like she just said something to you and I knew you was hurt. Like I could tell that your everything that you was excited about is gone. Just by this no that you just got. Like, you're a young man. You shouldn't feel like that. I shouldn't see your mood. I shouldn't see if something hurt your feelings. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting your feelings hurt sometimes, but you gotta know how to take it. But some kids be like, man, you're not that good. That's not how you take it. That's not how you take that. What you do is you say. That's what you say though. You can't say, okay, that's the wrong answer. There is no verbal. The answer is you prove them. You don't speak because some coaches or adults, when they address younger people, they don't want a response because a response could be smart. You know what I'm saying? Like smart Alec, like that. So the answer is.
And then go prove them.
And then go prove them. Go prove it.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Yeah. Man, this might be the longest one we've done. Episode number 39. This might be the longest one. Let me plug away. Instagram, whatever you got. Maybe it's, I've had coaches on here plug like their like school's website because they don't have anything else to plug. Yeah. Just like follow the team throughout the year type thing. Anything you want, plug away, let the people know.
All right.
You're pretty active on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm very active. Very active. Funny stuff. Me and my family, I'll be having stuff like that. But you can follow me on Instagram at Team Polk Winning. Facebook, Dwayne Polk. Just make sure it's not my dad. I'm the better looking one. So just make sure it's me and not my dad with Dwayne Polk.
Both bald?
Yes, both bald. Got it honest. I was a better basketball player, even though he was really good.
Okay.
I was better, even though he won't admit it. But I will tell you, I've never beat my father in one-on-one.
Because I'll hear stories where like the dad will just stop playing him one-on-one once
exactly.
Like he knows
I was winning in the 8th grade and he stopped playing.
Yep. Because he doesn't want you to have that satisfaction, and you have to live with that the rest of your life.
And I dunked the game before game point. I dunked it.
And then he said, "Nah,
nope, I'm gone." So, yeah, but and then I do have a Twitter. I'm not as active on Twitter, but it's at Team Polk Winning. That's pretty much all my handles I have. I do highly recommending following us at Lutheran North with Lutheran North Basketball on Instagram. Is at LN Crusaders Basketball. That's LN Crusaders Basketball. You can get weekly updates on our season. We are going to start fall workouts with conditioning. So if you are a coach looking for conditioning drills, if you're a player looking for some conditioning drills, you're going to challenge yourself, I highly recommend following our page because we will be uploading a lot of different content this year. I think I'm going to do something like a coach's corner on there too, where maybe drop like a play or like some drills or something that could be helpful for everybody as well. So that will be coming out right after the start of school, which is in a couple weeks. So follow LN Crusaders Basketball just for the fun of it if you're a fan of the game. Yeah.
It sounds like you're putting a little more energy into that.
Yes.
Because other schools' basketball Instagrams, a lot of times it's just like the schedule or whatever, but it sounds like you're going to get like content and stuff.
Yes. So one I've done a lot in my life, and it's hard to please myself sometimes. And what I mean by that, like I'm super competitive, and it's like I've got to find something that I'm competitive at that's like going to challenge me. So I've started my master's.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So one of the things that I've really come to realize, just like getting the master's, which is I'm getting in Master's of Arts in Coaching and Athletics Administration. We talk a lot about leadership.
Wait, say it again. You said arts?
Yep. Masters of Arts in Coaching and Athletics Administration.
Master of Arts?
Yep.
Is like the School of Business, School of Art, so it's the School of Art, and then what's the? In
Coaching and Athletics Administration. Exactly what I do every day.
Really cool.
Yes. I attend Concordia Irvine, which is in California. So online courses, classes are hard. They are so fun. Only because it's what I do every day as a coach. So that was one way I was going to challenge myself, just give myself a pat on the back. I got a perfect score in one of my classes.
Yeah.
Out of all 30 assignments, I got a perfect score.
Yeah.
So that's dope. But that's I want to, make myself better. But also throughout the courses, they talk about just the influence of social media. But also a portfolio for yourself at the end of the course. So I'm going to use this as something that's going to be a guide to coaching for people who are looking to get into coaching, or just for, like I said, if it's players looking for different ideas or things like that. I know I do all the time. I'm not like Coach K or, Roy Williams or anybody like that, but I think some of the info that I have inside of this encyclopedia needs to be shared with the rest of the world.
Yeah. So the content you're talking about, Coach's Corner and all that, that'll be part of your portfolio thing?
And it's going to be literally like Lutheran North.
Wow.
I'm not going to do it as me. I don't care about me.
Okay.
I care about everything else.
Yeah.
So I've done enough damage around here. Done enough damage. Too many people fear me, on the court. I don't know why. I haven't played basketball in like 4 years. 3 years. Like I don't get in drills with the players or anything. I don't hold the pad. I don't get out there and I don't chat ball. I don't pass. I don't. I do it from the side.
Is it tempting?
Not anymore. Had to wing myself off of it.
Yeah.
But also one of the and I'm just one person I'm gonna shout out to, which he did. This is my guy. One great piece of advice that I got from Corey Frazier. All right, so
another legend.
Yes, so like me and Corey go way back. Okay, he said, "You know that you're a good." So this was when he was at Maplewood. This is before everything else, before OTE, before everything. So he was like,
the Wits days.
And Wits days. And Corey actually went to SLU. Yep. He graduated from SLU too.
Okay.
So Corey told me one day, he said, you're good at training and coaching when you can describe a drill and you don't have to demonstrate it. And they understand what you're saying. And I take that to heart. So if I get out there and I give them effective communication and I talk with them and they can do it and it meets my expectation, I'm getting somewhere. Cooking with hot grease. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Corey, man. Like he told me that a long time ago. So that's kind of one thing that stuck in my mind, like later in life.
Yeah, man, this could go for another hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm a talker. Definitely a talker.
Nah, I'm loving every minute of it. That is episode number 39 in the books. Peace.